I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun.
Oh, I see what you mean. Trying to adjust things. That's way too far away.
No,
Good morning,
no,
guys.
it's not.
Yeah, sound is there. We're trying to get things together. As everybody knows, we've both been sick. Now
That
what?
light is off too.
Well, so everything is off this morning. Okay, that helped a little bit. Good morning, Racer X, Richard Wilson, Tim Huss, Ted Dinkins. Good morning. Hey, chosen one. Hey, guys. So today we are going to cover the pain of deception, a Filipino used and lied to in Duma. And we're going to draw up a panel here in a little bit and release a link for people to come in and talk. If you guys haven't seen Mike's Philippine journey, and it looks like Andy Omar has released videos in regards to which we knew in advance that this footage existed. We did not have the footage. That we knew that the him being fixed and the vasectomy of Stephen, according, and I'm going to say allegedly from his daughter, even if stepdaughter, that it came out of her mouth that she said that he did quite some time ago. And this is the family in the United States, a 25-year marriage. This one?
Yeah, I need it now because it'll take too long for the cloud.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. So that's what we'll be discussing today. So, okay. Sorry, I got interrupted again. So I mean,
Don't mind me, guys. I'm actually really under the weather. Put it this way: after 3 Imodiums, it's not stopping me, and I'm suffering from severe vertigo. And yesterday, I broke the fever. I had a 103-degree fever, but I broke it, so that's a good thing. But I'm still out of the weather.
hey, Brent's World.
Like right now, I have a massive headache, and it's just pounding. And
Okay. So did you take anything this morning? We kind of had
I
this
took,
discussion
yes, I
before.
have been taking the pills. I took those greenish, white, bluish, white pills. I took one this morning when I woke up, but it's not helping.
Yeah, you have to drink more fluids.
No, I got that.
So,
Yeah.
all right. So I'm going to go through this. He's trying to upload some of the footage from that Mike gave us permission to actually use for us to go over. And when I say allegedly, I have to say that because remember, there's several sides to the story, and it's not that I'm not believing the daughter. I'm going to play devil's advocate on this one. It is a stepdaughter. It's her. You guys had listened that her son had found some stuff. The family's aware, allegedly, that the divorce just happened on his side in February. Looks like he's been making plans for a while, as I'm to understand. That he had been watching the channel. All this stuff has been put out about Steven. But the biggest thing is he's deceiving his current fiance that is getting ready to marry any day. So it's very I don't know. It's kind of messes me up. I can't
Okay, well,
concentrate on this. That's okay. Go on and upload it. I'll just go and read from the question. So we'll get into this. We're really off again this morning. I can't put up the comments because are you uploading now or did you I'll look at the monitor
I
here.
haven't done it yet because, again, it's not the right clip. There's somehow a recurring cat clip. It's one of our cats, and that's what he was attempting to upload. That's why he keeps staring at the screen.
Okay. Chosen One came in and said, Pain, I know all about that. This Filipina will recover. Expats suffered the worst. They lose everything. All right, Chosen One. On that situation, I would probably say not. This expat in Dumaguete is actually lying to the girl, saying that he can have children. He's getting ready to marry her. And that's really messed up if this girl believes that she's going to have a baby and it's not going to happen. But also on the other hand, this same female, okay, is being said that it's a transactional relationship, which the stepdaughter was a little shocked about. That's the way she sees it, that she sees how young the girl is. I believe she's about 6 or 7 years, and I might be off on the age. I think I don't know how old Steven's fiance is, Charlene, but I thought she was 25 or something. Um, Somebody correct me on that one. But the family's shocked on the age difference, the fact he's giving him any money. The wife of 25 years, I think she said she got the house out of this, but she said she had asked for some sort of support. Okay, we're not saying either woman does or doesn't deserve the support. But now they're like he's giving money to her. So it's about the support that he is giving her. He's getting ready to marry a girl that's way younger than his stepdaughter. And it's kind of shocking the family over there. And he, according to her and other resources and sources, that he did have the vasectomy. So he is lying. So when Critter Hunter left an entire note and sent an email to Mark Thornton, it looks like that might actually all be true. So what was being said. So this poor girl is getting ready to marry this guy and she's in pure denial. Okay. So she's in pure denial. But like I said, this does come from, I'm sure we'll get some comments later on. I'm just going to say it in advance that they'll say that the stepdaughter may not be telling the truth either. It could be a scorned family over a bad divorce. It could be that she is telling the truth, and then there's so much going on, so many comments, so many emails, so many messages that are actually coming in regards to this. And with this actually playing out now, kind of like the puzzle is kind of fitting together, guys. Good morning, Tim Husk. He says morning and evening and all in between from the nut state of Ohio. Okay, next Racer X says hi, H&G, South Carolina is in the house. And then Ted says good morning. He says hello, beautiful people. And let's see. We have CJ in Santa Cruz. Hey now, all Santa Cruz, Cali in the hizzy. It's in the hizzy. Okay, Richard Wilson says, hey there, it's me. Okay. I also want to let people know, again, we'll be putting a link in here for you guys to join a panel here in a little bit. We invite everybody in, just be respectful. I get other channels, and we're talking multiple channels. I'm not going to pinpoint any of the live streams that, we ask that the people have respect, the name calling and all this. We try to keep that to a minimal for just follow the YouTube policies. That's what we're actually going by. Also, we were going to put it because there were some complaints about synthetic voices and people not at least showing their photos. And as long as those people are respectful, we do want to hear opinions because a lot of things are brought to the table. And maybe it's Mark Thornton himself saying that. Maybe it's old dog joining and we don't know. Maybe it's really the Filipina Pete joining. I still think it's we discussed this and we started to put into a description that we were going to cut all synthetic voices, and then me and George had a full conversation on that.
Yeah. Now, keep in mind again, like Heidi mentioned what Chosen One says, but to reiterate, this tells you the type of person Chosen One is. And it's not an attack against Chosen One. I'm just saying that I know he says pain. I know all about that. The Filipino will recover. Expats suffered the worst. They lose everything. I don't agree with you per
No.
se, but the ones, it's nothing to do with the Filipina side and nothing to do with the expat side. The ones that lose the most is whoever is nice in the relationship, or nicer or nicest, depending on how would you want to see it or view it. They're the ones who stand to lose the most. It could be the Filipina if she's really nice, naive, then they
I
stand
think both stand to be toxic at some point. Doesn't
well,
mean it's
babe,
going to.
I'm saying that's why I said nicer, and who's nicer in the relationship stand to lose more than the other. What I'm saying is if one side's looking for, to basically skin the other person alive, whoever's nicer, have a better moral compass,
And
will lose. Nothing to
right.
do whether
So
they're Filipina or
okay,
expat.
so you're basically saying whether they're a Filipino or expat,
Correct.
just remove
Has
it. It's
correct.
people. People are people, as we've said
Correct.
everywhere. How do you feel about the messages and emails that we're receiving saying with the revealed information? Do you think the family in the US is bitter right now over the divorce?
Now, I'm not the only one who questioned it.
And please comment, guys.
The problem I have with the video, again, nothing against Mike. It has
Mike,
nothing
no,
to-
it's
nothing-
great information.
Nothing to do
And
with Mike.
we're not doubting it. Just there are
No.
because if we don't probe it or like go all the way around the story, then things are left out. We've already received messages that, oh, she's probably lying, she's bitter. And I was just telling George that I've been watching this Feminim and I've been like watching a bunch of these shows on, toxicity and feminism and all of that. And then she'll be blamed for lying because the family's toxic. There's always several sides of the story. There probably is even a third side to it That's why the critter hunter and all the friends that he was hanging out with previous, there might be some other sides of the story, but I mean, think about where they all used to be friends. Something broke off and then some truth spilled out. And now the family in the United States are actually confirming a bunch of stuff that he came here in 2022 and he had been watching Charlene for a long time, and that's extra creepy for me.
Okay, first off, yes.
He stalked her. That's
Heidi
my
actually
opinion.
said it. There are some truths.
Creepy.
Some truths. I'm not saying that the daughter-in-law lied. I'm not saying that by any means.
Right. No, I
Now,
personally
the key
believe
word
her.
is some truths. And what I'm saying is be aware that
I believe she's telling the
somebody
truth, woman
no
to
no no
woman.
again, it's not a question of whether she's telling the truth or not, but would you trust somebody who would say crap like that?
Are you talking about Steven?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little, and a lot of people feel that that was transactional. And at first I had to think about it. And I wasn't there to see how that happened. But if he's just been giving her money to live on the side and a bunch of things, it depends on how he actually did it. I've had boyfriends that, have given money to go take care of nails and do things, girls' night out and all that. But it depends on, it sounds the way he put it out that yes, it became transactional. And so
Now,
it's just, well, like she said that's not the same man. That isn't the same, like photos and everything. It doesn't even look like the same man. But she said her words that I was to understand, the family would have never imagined him like that. It just doesn't seem like him to go about that. I mean, is he in like a senior midlife crisis or something? Like
well,
instead
as
of a
Mike says, end of life crisis.
he's in an end of life
End of life
crisis.
crisis. I mean, although honestly, if he just dyed his hair, it'd probably look a lot younger. But I mean, I'm not picking. I'm just saying.
I don't know about that.
No, no, no. I'm not picking. I'm just
No, it's a
saying.
joke. He would probably
I'm just
look like
saying
one
he'll
of the
look
Addams family or
a lot
something.
younger. I mean, I'm not
But
picking. I'm just
I
saying.
mean, I don't know. I kind of hope she's listening to some of these. So my question to everybody is, what do you think Mark's going to do about his new best friend when he finds that out? Is his wife going to have like a total hizzy and say, "Hey, no friend there"? I mean, here's the thing. I'm gonna tell you what I think's really going to happen. I think they're going to sweep it all under the table and move
No,
on.
here's the thing. There's a trend, and what I mean by a trend, I'm not talking about like, a fashion faux pas or anything like that. The key thing here is it's expats normally, I said normally, unfortunately lie to their Filipinas, and when it comes to Dumaguete, for instance, again, you know,
Dumaguete.
um,
Ooh wee.
right
What's up with that? What's up with that? Dramagetti. What's up with
now.
that?
The
What's up
reason for
with
the
that?
vasectomy, or if it is a vasectomy, I mean, it could be some different operation. Um, we don't know. What I'm saying is maybe there's a cause, there's a reason, medical reason. I'm not quite sure. That's why I said I'm not even sure if it's a vasectomy, but either way, that
Vasectomy is kind of like a vasectomy there, babe.
no,
What'd you think?
I
He fell on
know
his
that.
boner and broke it, and then they said it was a vasectomy when he fell on a cliff, or what?
Okay, here's the thing,
Uh, boner donor
guys.
broker.
Guys or female, doesn't matter who they are. They would try to play down or play up depending on their personality on what's going on with them. Now, for him to have a vasectomy, it's kind of extreme, but it could be. It could be he had a vasectomy. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying, I mean, I'm not denying nor, bottom line, it could be some reason why why he had a vasectomy. I don't know.
Okay, I'm believing it did, but Mike Ross did come through and say obviously the stepdaughter is biased.
Okay, see, that's the thing.
Why else do the
Why
interview?
would she be biased? Why would she spill the beans? What's her skin in the game? Is it because one that she felt slighted that he divorces her mom and then moved on to somebody younger. I quote younger
Oh,
because
25 years. He probably raised her since she was little and stuff.
that okay.
So,
Honestly,
'cause I think the girl said
I
she was 30 something. I'm a quote on this.
no,
30 something maybe or something. So, yeah, she was probably about 4 or 5 when he started to raise her and stuff. So, became a real father to her.
yeah, but even if she felt
I would just feel
slighted,
weird.
that well, first off,
But see, it could be slighted each way, babe. It could be because she's mad and then she's lying about it, or it could be.
well, first off, again, I'm not saying she is lying.
No, I'm
saying
giving both scenarios,
it's
guys.
kind of
Remember,
weird that she would just talk shit about her
we're gonna.
ex-father-in-law.
I got the strong feeling she's telling the truth.
No,
So the
yes,
skin in the
yes, I
game.
agree
Now
with
it
that.
could swing
Yes,
both ways. That's for you guys to decide. That's what this discussion is about today. Plus, just discussing poor Charlene. I'm sorry if he's got this vasectomy, which, like I said, several sources say he does. That's just messed up, man. You know what I'd like to see? I would like to see Charlene Mark Thornton him. Show me the Mark Thornton, babe. Ka-chow.
Uh,
The uppercut. Mark Thornton, remember? I get to be Mark Thornton today. Punch in the nose, babe.
I don't get the reference.
The reference. Remember we were discussing the kids saying, "Can I be Mark Thornton today?" Mark Thornton, left hook. Get it? The Mark
Oh,
Thornton.
right.
The MT punch. Oh,
Yeah.
never mind.
No, I
It
got it
was
now.
so over. So my hair is all curly. I washed it last night. Well, I do every day, but I washed it before I fell asleep. There it is. So
Well, like I said, with all due respect to her and everything, I just wonder why she would. I mean,
it's a trip. Either way, I think it's crappy. I think it's, and now what's going to hurt even more is her sister any day is going to give birth to the baby if she hasn't already. Remember, we're not going to hear from Mark Thornton and his Beanie Bear collection. Oh, gee, many crikeys. By the way, they were talking about that on Andy Omar today. They were talking about like 2 or 3 people coming in talking about the Beanie Bears. I told you what a ridiculous collection. And he opened up more boxes and had Beanie Bears. And I
yeah,
called it a few days ago in our Saturday spill the tea Saturday. I said that sucker bought them himself. He didn't even want to let up on one of them to give to Charlene. He said pick one and one only. But I was telling you about the Beanie Bear collection. But with that baby coming, I'm sorry, I would be envious too, regardless if they are a bunch of old dudes and all of that, or I call them certain types of expats or whatever. That's fine. These girls just want to live their life. I get that part of it too. She's going to want her baby too. I'm kind of trying to look into Charlene's eyes, and that's a bunch of crap. But the saddest part of all is I'm learning about Filipinos themselves. She's just going to smooth this over and move on. She's not going to let him go. And then, I mean, I guess she can wait for the guy to croak, ribbit, and then that's it. And then she could just play leapfrog with the next person.
come on, Mark.
No, Charlene.
You're
Him,
talking about
she's going to move on and marry him, man.
Steven?
Yeah. Talking about Steven, babe. She's going to play leapfrog after he rivets and, croaks, croak, croak. And then she's just going to have her baby later. But I mean, she could waste another 10 years of her life. She'll be 35. She'll be one of those Filipinas. Once they get to a certain age, then certain jobs aren't available and certain opportunities aren't available.
Well, I'm
And
going to tell you right now, they're not going to last that long.
I think she'll stay and marry him. What do you guys think? Do you think she'll stay and marry him?
No, if
One, if you guys put a 1 in the
the thing with transactional relationships, again, this is actually from his own words.
put a 1 if you guys think that she'll stay with him, and 2 if you think that she'll leave him. I don't think as a Filipina, and I notice how nice they are and how quick they Filipinas tend to smooth things over. I don't think she'll leave. She seems very quiet and everything. So 1 if you think she's going to stay, 2 if she's going to leave him.
Well, like I said, again, I'll read the comments after I'm talking about the results. The thing about
The
transactional
stream is
relationships.
echoing really bad. That just came through earlier.
Oh.
That probably got moved. The puppy's been in here, so it's echoing.
No, it's not.
So
It's
none of
not.
the other, all the buttons were hit correctly?
Yeah.
So maybe the white cords got messed with. He's been
No,
tugging
that
on
won't do it.
those.
That won't do it. No.
Can you guys still hear the echo?
No, and like I
I
said,
think she'll stay.
well, okay. I'm not saying she will or she won't, but she won't if the key word is transactional. When you're into a transactional relationship, think of it as a Mercs. Mercs go with the highest bidder or the highest paying clientele. So if
Okay.
somebody decides to kind of like say, hey, I'm going to pay you more than he does, then there's a chance they will,
That's what I did when I started dating George.
they
For
will,
real.
yeah, right.
No, I'm
Now,
serious.
they will, switch over.
My-
Now,
My daddy didn't want to give me an allowance anymore, so
that being said, again, now Tony Manning says 1, and Smurf Catcher says Crusher says 1. Dan Finn says 1.
Yeah, a
Gary
lot of-
says 1. Adria G says 1. Now, Adria G. Oh, number 2. I guess I guess it can go either
we got a
or.
few of them. Yeah, most of them said
Now,
1. 3
Adventure
might
No
be
Man says 3.
3
Now that
actually.
means as other. Well, that basically means yeah, she could still switch sides or do 2 different people at the same time. Yeah.
In other words, stay and do them dirty. That's what I would
Right.
do. Right, babe?
No, Gary says no echo here. Yeah.
Okay.
Smurf Crusher says it's not a transactional relationship. Now, I understand you said that, but be aware that he stated that in his own words. In Steven's own words, he said it was a transactional relationship. He said, "I will pay you this, quit your job, and be with me." That's what he said. Now,
And also, there was some sort of deal. Now, was it him that gave the money? Somebody else wouldn't give it up to the father, and then he ended up giving the flat out cash amount to the family, to the father and mother in the household. Isn't there something that went on? I'm not going to pretend that I know this full story. I believe, and comment, guys, wasn't there another transaction of a large amount of money to the family? Smurf Crusher said, I'm not going by Steven's words. I'm going by the situation. Yeah, it seems like he didn't answer the questions during Mark. So you notice he was like not answering totally through. Yeah, he gave 4,500 to help rebuild the house. Yes, he gave it all in one amount or something to get it over with. So, I mean, this happens in relationships, but you're definitely going to get the Western family back in the US that's going to think this is just really weird. And I know that if my dad would have moved to the Philippines and been watching some vloggers for a while and kind of what I would call simping on the girl really bad, probably even sending her money in advance, and then he went on over to the Philippines and married a 25-year-old, I would be a little off too. So it's just not normal in the US unless it's over money usually that there's that much of an age gap. Plus, the family said he didn't display any of these features. Some of them start acting like a teenager again when they get over here. And I think love and punani and all that turns you into, I don't know, but
Steven could save a ton of money by actually getting into transactional relationship. He wouldn't have to rebuild the parents' house, and he wouldn't have to deal with the drama.
oh
People
no,
don't get married in transactional relationships. No,
I
it
mean,
wasn't transactional. He was supporting his future parents-in-law because their house was not complete.
okay. Well, we can leave the transactional thing off the table because also in the video, it also said that, you know, that he didn't leave. Another thing that bothered the stepdaughter was that he's giving money to her, but wouldn't give any to her mother of 25 years, which we don't know what happened in that relationship either. We must say that. But as I'm to understand, she said she got the house. Now, I'm sure Mike's Philippine journey will join us later when we put up the link. He usually does. I'm sure he'll come in here and
You're talking about the mom, right? You got the house.
yeah, I'm pretty sure he
But that's a
said
divorce thing. I mean, that's an agreement on during the divorce.
right. Well, so would have been
What I'm saying
money.
is, it's not what it doesn't necessarily mean that she got it willingly from the other party.
She could have paid for it herself. It could have been payments they both paid on the house, so that's probably why she did. So yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So, hi, Dave made a good point. The family won the lottery. You think they want her daughter to F that paper. Yeah. That's I think she'll still do it also because she's nice. And I just think she'll move forward. And I know more than likely I would too. I mean, I'm just Georgia knows that I'm like that. I mean, yeah, I would be upset about it, but she may be totally madly in love with the ideal of being with this foreigner, kind of like her sister is. Whether there's a baby, maybe he'll cry and say, "We'll adopt a baby and go through all that," which is harder than hell here. But anything could happen. I mean, there's so many possibilities. So many. Baby, come
Mike
back.
Ross says you
You
underestimate
put the blame
how
on
desperate
me.
some of these guys
I
are.
was wrong.
In this guy's case, he sounds like he's having a serious midlife crisis.
Baby, come back.
Smurfcatcher says, not sure why you're applying
Mike can come
Western
sing with us.
standards to a non-Western country. Age gap relationships are nothing at all in no, age gap relationships are very common in the Philippines. It's very normal to have 50 years old and 60 years old to marry 30 years old.
And we're going to
Now,
keep
or
applying
25
Western
years old.
versus Asia
Now it's a little extreme when you
or
have a
non-Western
50-year-old
countries.
marry an 18-year-old, but for the most part, age gap relationships are normal here. Yes.
Yeah.
Hillberry Pyro says, Hillbilly Pyro, hey, how you doing, man? Some could say all relationships are transactional relationships in a way. Yes, there's always a give and take whenever it comes to relationships. Now, the only time it becomes transactional, or rather labeled as transactional, you're right. For the most parts, relationships are transactional. There's a give and take, but you label them as actual transactional when actual money is being dealt with. For example, hey, you stay with me if I pay your pay you a salary on a regular basis. Now that becomes transactional. I get it. I get it. I get where you're coming from,
This
hillbilly.
is Monkey, our
Yeah.
new puppy, guys.
Yeah.
He kind of was in the doghouse with George this morning. What did you do? You found the cat box, didn't you? Yeah, look at him being nice now. Yeah.
He's always nice.
He's always nice. He's always a nice boy. He's always a good boy, Monkey. And I think we'll keep the name Monkey.
TJ Riley says Steven's going to be out of there in no time. He dug a hole. Now he is struck.
Yeah.
Smurf Catcher says what money he spent on a previous marriage has no bearing on this relationship. No. I agree. Again, his past is his past, which again, like I said,
It was brought up by the daughter.
right.
So I'm not just bringing
That's
up saying,
right.
I'm not going to go in and argue with you guys or discuss that I feel that point. I'm just mentioning points. If it is my true point, I will actually say that. So whether you guys are going to hear us say this, or compare some things or say things, we'll actually go through and say this is our point, but no, it's just being brought up in the entire situation, including the daughter that said herself. She said she had mentioned money and everything, which I'm sure you're referring to all of the stories.
Right. Now Neil
Yeah, he still
says
got the hiccups.
there is a reason for age gap
Yeah.
differences. You don't usually see that with Filipinos and Filipinas. Remember, there's the culture gap you have to deal with, and again, not only is there a culture gap, culture also includes meaning. For example, again, here you're like stuck in the 80s, meaning even more modern music rarely makes it mainstream here. Do they play it? Yes, but it's not mainstream. And what I'm getting at is here, age gap relationships is more because women, I'm being specific here, women, Filipina women, okay, they feel that the the male Filipinos are immature of the same age. And therefore, they marry somebody or be with somebody who's older because they're more mature. Now, there is a science to that. Again, males are always immature and they grow older. Again, like I said, like if you want to know the maturity level of a guy, one I came up with is you minus 10 of their age. You know what I'm saying? If you have a 21-year-old, they have a maturity level of an 11-year-old girl. You know what I'm saying? They're very immature. It takes a while for them to catch up. Now, that's more the reason here that Filipinos marry older men, Filipinos, because these are the kind of guys who stay with their jobs, don't quit whenever, be financially mature, and so on and so forth. Ruby says, not to all common to Filipino families from good, middle, and high income families. Yeah, cute pup. Thank you so much, Hillbilly. Brian Walker says Charlene won't be happy adopting a baby unless the baby is half white. Oh, dang.
Well, if you guys go down to the Abagon Bridge and see a bunch of the kids running around there, quite a few of them are
Americans. American is
a
the
lot of
coin term of mixed Filipinos with expats. Yes,
there's a lot
Americans.
of children that are
Yeah,
left behind that are white enough for her to adopt. And if not, she can go and adopt one from where is it? Taiwan. They're pretty white there.
light skin. They're not white. They're light skin.
That dude was white at immigration. That was about as I almost called him snowflake there, like literally real, like not snowflake as in like
Well,
feelings
light skin.
hurt. Yeah, as
Light
in
skin.
white. Yeah, like me. Call
Light
me
skin.
Snow White Heidi.
White is normally compared to
No, there's a lot
Caucasians.
of
He's still
she's just not going to
an
be happy,
Asian.
nor will he or she have the patience. It takes years and background checks. It could take, you have to live here for longer. I think it's like 5 years. And there's a lot of rules to adoption here. It's just as hard as the United States. It's one thing that's wild. You have to, of course, through the courts, you have to have home visits and you have to go through a lot for adoption. But I think she'll stay. I think the family, I just think in the end she will. So all of this that we're all discussing and everything, I honestly don't feel it's going to change her mind, nor do we expect it. It's just a conversation, nor is it a direct attack on Charlene or him. I personally just feel that he should have been honest from the get go if this is all true. So
Well, that's the point is the fact that again it's
and I wonder why he would. I'm just going to ask why he would get a vasectomy if that was a stepdaughter and there are no real kids. I don't know if he has other
that's what I'm
kids.
saying.
There's kind of
I don't
I just thought
know.
about
I really
that.
don't know. That's why I said I don't know. But
I
it
mean, some guys do. Some guys don't want kids at all, and then he should have said that too. But maybe he meant maybe Charlene is the ideal woman, and eh,
either way, it's too late.
too late. What?
Can't reverse it.
Yes, you can. There is a way.
He's not going to do it. I'm telling you that right now.
Yeah, it's not pretty. So I'm gonna get a vasectomy on George just because he just looks at women and they can become pregnant. Do it, babe. Choo, 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 choo.
So,
Right? I'm joking. Why don't you go find some of them white women around here and have a white baby?
don't tempt me.
Hey, babe,
Hmm.
never thought about that. I'm gonna have you get on these dating sites and see if you can see how many women you could hook in. Do like what Mike did
Why the
before he
hell
got in
would I do
trouble.
that?
Just see how many of them. Never mind. I'll talk to you about it later. It's a joke, babe. See how many women will date and stuff.
No, okay. Now, okay. I'm not trying to boast or anything. It's really not that hard to pick up women and date. It's not. But be aware that I am Filipino. I'm not gonna lie to people, but babe, as long as you're honest with everybody and they feel that from you, they'll they'll want to be with you.
I told you that. Yeah, we discussed some of the dating
It's like
terms and
it's like this. It's when it comes to sales. Honestly, the best salesmen are not the ones that lie. I mean, well, yeah, sure, they get sales, but in the end, they get returns and they get complaints and you get a bad rapport. But the best salesmen don't lie. They
well,
just say, "Hey, this is not what you're looking for. This is not what you want." You know what I'm saying? They say, I know this is what you think you want, but guess what? You don't want that. You don't want to spend extra money on this. Get this one. You're not going to use that. For example, the 3D on TV. Remember that thing? Now it's dead. If a salesman says you're not going to want this, you're paying extra two grand more for 3D effect, and guess what? One, it's going to give you headaches. Two, it's going to give you won't use it at all, and they'll be like, yeah, that's true, and then like, okay, but they'll keep coming back for you because they know you're telling the truth versus somebody like, oh, this, I swear, I know a guy who says, oh, this washing machine has a built-in emulsifier. I'm like, what the freak? But
hey,
anyway, and guess
Ruby.
what, he had the most returns. I mean,
Further down, well, I'm not going to. Yeah, that might be an ideal thought. Maybe she'll marry him anyways, and it'll be like the three, right? So put in a one if you guys think those that didn't answer. Put in a one if you guys think she'll stay. Charlene will stay with Steven. Put a two in if she thinks she'll leave, and then there's the possibility of a three. She'll do something else. I had another. She'll do something else. You ready for this, babe? This is what I would do. I would stay with him, milk him, give him a hard time. I'd like go Western on him as a Filipina, right? So then you just go and get pregnant by somebody else.
no, that's
And then
crossed my mind.
actually say,
Yes.
but you said, say, I'm pregnant with your baby, and just live that out.
Well,
You had to find another expat, but I'm sure there's somebody willing down at ground zero.
like I said,
Never rule out the wild card.
even with a legal separation, you can still get charged for concubinage or adultery. Bruce Davis says one.
Well, what's he?
Mike Ross says she
What
will
was the
stay. Come on.
reference with Mike saying the concubinage? I mean, nobody. I'm talking about even if he's married in the U.S., you're saying that he can still be charged in the U.S.
No,
You
I
still
don't think.
marry?
I don't think. I think they're talking about here.
Well, yeah, here,
Yeah,
yeah.
3. Never rule out the wild card. Tony Manning 1. Manny C 1. Corner Clubhouse 3. Now, okay. Again, I'm not trying to push my thing on everybody, or nor do I. The
I
thing.
play the footage
Okay.
too.
Now
yeah.
the thing is, I believe she'll move on for 2 reasons. One, okay. Now she's well aware that she can't have a kid with him. 2, she'll move on because honestly, right now, Steven is infamous. And
Right, Bruce.
they're going to be, I mean, if you think it's distressing,
Should I stay or should I
right?
go?
For example, me and Heidi are together. She gets a lot of stares for being with a Filipino.
That's
So
not why we get the stares.
okay, what I'm saying is,
It's like
so
Godzilla or King Kong
yeah,
with Mighty Mouse walking through the mall. That's what they
But
staring
here's the
at.
thing:
And they just staring at us.
he's YouTube infamous now, meaning he has a bad
Who?
bad connotation to him.
Steven?
Yeah,
He's far from that.
I'm not saying.
but
Well, I wouldn't say far from it.
Probably in that area. I bet you most don't recognize him, but yeah, I'm kind of catching on to that one here.
All right, we're gonna play a clip from Mike. Hey, Mike, thank you very much for this clip.
Yeah, he'll put the clip in. But Tess said that hi H&G. I've been following Charlene Saga for some time. Before Steven, there was another expat. His name was Mike. Yes, I am aware of that. Is that the big gigantic ring she wears around her neck? Because I'm not sure whose ring that is, but it's huge. It almost looks like, but it's not. It's an actual band that belongs to somebody. but she wears it around Charlene's around her neck. I knew she dated a guy named Mike, so I'm aware of that. And even Mike, she had an LDR. He sent her 5,000 for 3 years, 5K. And she said hi to Mike. So MYK. So yeah, I knew she had a relationship and she was getting money and everything, but what was the deal? I don't know why that came through. I'm not going to pretend we know all of that. We just recently got into covering expats. So, besides the interviews and the expat help that we've done, we're going to start discussing expat life whether someone the other day said something in a message. They're like, oh, now all you guys are going to do is cover drama and you're just taking other people's footage and covering it. And I'm like, we're going to cover expats, period. If you guys put something out, we're going to cover it. It's all fair in love and war. So, okay, you have the footage there, babe. Sorry. Yeah, 2 decades.
What ends up happening a little bit with these guys and stuff. So
right.
So the vasectomy is true. Okay. What else goes on with it? Is there any other thing that's involved as well?
And this comes from Mike's Philippine journey, and we'll put a link in the description. He's in the house too.
Like, he is who he says he is. I mean, he was a cop for X amount of years, and he retired.
Shout out to you, Mike.
May, and he was gone by September. May, June. He was gone in September of that year. And so a lot of what he said is true, but at the same time, it's just like, truly, why did you go there? Because there's a lot of things now that's like really showing that he planned this, because it's like, how do you just go over there and then now all of a sudden this is what's going on? You get what I'm saying?
Oh, I get it. So is he at least, did he divorce your mom now?
Their divorce was just final at the end of February.
So he left without the divorce and divorced right there.
Yeah, they had to go back and forth for like over a year in between court. Okay. And then now their divorce was just finalized. And last week, I think it was last week. Don't quote me on that, but I think it was last week. But because it was sometime recent. They went through all of the, but they went away from going back and forth through the courts, and then when I talked to him, he said that he had just signed the papers, but I hadn't talked to him in a long time. I mean, the last time I talked to him, I think was in September. He messaged me and said, happy birthday. And then he messaged to ask if my mom still had the same number last Sunday. And I said I had a question for him in regards to something with my children. And he called me, but I haven't talked to him. So then, I mean, like I said, all of us, like my mom included, we all saw this video this week. I heard about it, but I fully watched it last night. And then I saw, as I was scrolling, I saw yours. I was like, oh, let me click on that. And then I was like, what the heck? And then my son, he's 12, so he was like, you can go to his Discord. And I'm like, I don't know what that is. But
right.
I'm like, that Discord, I just started it, actually, and it's just crazy. And so that's why I'm like,
by the way, we have a Discord. We're probably going to get more into it.
There's people that are trying to like say additional stuff, and I was like, they're trolling. And it's just me trying to like, be a little bit more proactive and not like, I don't want to put out there anything. All I do is review what I see and kind of take it that way,
Right.
Is he still active in your life now, or is he going to be? Because now with all this stuff that's coming about, because it's kind of weird, right? You go all of a sudden to like all this stuff. He's wishing you a happy birthday, then all of a sudden you see this, and you're like, oh, there's more truth to the layers that what he's putting out there.
Right. And he didn't say anything about none of this.
By the way, this is his stepdaughter with MYK, Mike's
it was a week
Philippine
ago
journey.
today. And so he didn't even say, like, oh, I have a girlfriend. Like, he didn't even say any of that. And probably because he didn't probably want to go back and tell my mom. But, I mean, at the point that you're recording on the freaking internet, I mean, what do you think? And we're all the way in North Carolina. Like,
was it shocking to all of a sudden see that online? Like, how did you come? Like, how? Yeah. Like, did somebody like notify you saying, "Hey, your stepdad is on a video"?
I don't know. How did we figure out the video? Well, before he went to the Philippines, I think he watched this girl, and he watched a guy that flipped houses, and he watched a girl that sang. So he did do that for like a couple years before he left. And so then when we found out that my stepdad had a Facebook on Monday, that's when we found out my stepdad had a Facebook, because it came up on people you may know on my Facebook.
Gotcha.
And so then I told my son, I was like, oh shoot, Steven's got a Facebook. I was like, but I'm not going to mention it to my mom. Well, my mom already knew that he had a Facebook, and like she had blocked him. So I guess she's just done more of her digging, because he was her husband, not mine.
True.
And so I was like, told my son, like, oh, look, like your Papa Steve has a Facebook now. And like, that was
Okay,
one
so
thing
I was
he
right
didn't
on
wanna
that.
do
Mike
here.
said stepdaughter
So
raised since
then
she was 7. What did I say?
it
She was probably
showed
about
up,
6 or
like,
7. She's 30.
whoever liked
So that
his
makes
profile
sense. Since
picture.
I said
Well,
5,
then
remember that'd make
that
her
girl had a
32.
picture
She's over
of
30. So
them
thank you,
two.
Mike, for
So then
clarifying
it was just
that.
kind of like process
So I
of
did
elimination. Then
guesstimate
I
on
looked
that.
at that and I was like, what the heck? Like, this is crazy, because she's young, you know? And I mean, I'm 33 years old. I don't know how old she is, but then like my mom was like, shoot, like he's like raised you, and then now he's with some girl that looks like she's
always
younger
going to be
than
different from what Western
Yeah.
are compared to being
Like,
in Asia.
this fantasy bubble that a lot of guys have is just really, and so it's like, I'm not a person who's like into that there's guys that do it.
Right.
Let him be.
I'm curious about the ring.
But
Right.
the thing though is like,
Gigantic
it is
ring
kind of
around
weird how the situation happened between him and that girl. And you saw my breakdown, right? So
Right.
and the worst part, did your
Brian
mom
made
watch my
point.
breakdown?
Most important thing
No,
is your
I told
family.
her about it.
Okay.
The second
'Cause I know
important is having the
for sure
baby,
it's going
so
to really
she'll
be
stay.
even more disturbing for her. I know it's disturbing for
Makes
you,
sense.
but for her wise, it could be a little bit whatever. Because I came from the outside and I just said, listen, this is what's going on. Here are all the different videos. These are what are being said. I can only assess it from the outside, but me understanding the culture of Filipinos, me understanding how things work, I was just adding my extra thoughts to it as much as possible. Especially, it was really weird for me when they talked about there was a prearranged money before a relationship.
Right.
And that was really weird for me.
Right. And I think my mom, she kind of has a problem with that too, because, you know, she said she would retire with him, and she said something about like a monthly allowance, and he didn't really want to do that. But then now he goes over there and like he's paying this girl, which he probably would have had to give my mom more than $170, because the cost of living here is outrageous to compare to here. There, you know what I mean? So it probably would have been more than what he pays her, but it's just still like, I really think that kind of took my mom back a little bit, because it was like, you're paying this girl, and like you were married for me to 25 years, and you go over there and you're doing this now just so she'll be with you. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
So I don't know. I just, like I said, it's not like I truly want to be like, oh, but yeah, I don't know. I really cannot answer that. I don't know if I will talk to him again. Like, I am really on the fence, because like I'm hurt for my mom, and then I'm hurt for myself and my children, because I mean, he just kind of,
he was the known man of the house for everyone for the longest time. Then all of a sudden, you know, it's like advice that maybe he gave when he was there with you guys. All of a sudden, it goes out the door. Like, how can I trust your advices now? That kind of like just like a break of like confidentiality, break of trust in a way, you know. So yeah, it gets crazier and crazier.
Right. So it was just, I really just wanted to say that part. Like, I mean, everything else is kind of here and there, but like the fact that like, yes, he legit had a vasectomy, and I know that it was kind of left unsaid, like whether he did or he didn't, because they said that he laughed about it.
Yeah, and he never talked about it when he was being interviewed. He's like, they kind of like let that slide. So I was like, oh, I think he got it. I was like, you know, I've had it a couple of my lives class. I was like, do you think he got it? I'm like, oh, he got it, because they totally did not talk about it after that was the one. If that was what you're being accused of, why didn't you talk about it, defend it? So normally, and he's a cop, he should know if they don't, you know, if they move away from it, then there's something that you're hiding.
Right.
So
yeah, but I mean, I don't know. So it's just the whole thing is weird, and the fact that he's about to get married, and like then he had told us like he never would get married again. Like, that's like alarming, because it's like your divorce just got final, and then you're about to be married in like 3 months after your divorce is final. Like, that's insane.
Yeah, you know, where he's at in Dumaguete is a really weird place.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I call it Sodom and Gomorrah. of expats. So,
Snap.
I'm really sorry that you guys have to go through this, but at the same time, at least he's far away.
Right.
And I know that you have to put your 2 cents in it, and which I truly respect. And well, there's always future, and I wish the best for your mom. And did she at least get something from him, from the separation?
Yeah, she was able to keep the house and all of that.
Okay, respect.
Yeah. So I mean, it just I don't know. It's just like for a long time, like there was just so many things left unsaid. So I guess maybe now it's like maybe closure in a way.
Yeah.
Like now that all of this has come out, like, okay, like, because we were all kind of wondering, like, what the heck? Why you just up and leave? And like he had said before that, like, because I told him if him and my mom ever got divorced, that I would always include him in stuff for the kids. Because like I said, that's the only grandpa on either side of my family and their dad's family that they knew. So I said, I always would include you. And and since he's half German, he said that he probably wouldn't live in the States. And so I was like, oh, okay, like, where would you go? And then it kind of came out about the Philippine stuff and that he would want to go there. And I mean, he was back and forth between Germany and the Philippines. Okay. And before he like fully, moved to the Philippines. And so it's just unfortunate because I really hate it for my kid, especially my son.
I get it.
So I really hate it for him. But at the same time, now that everything's coming to light, it's like, oh, okay, like, it's fine. We're going to be okay without you. Yeah. Because I was questioning why you left, but now, like, you do you, and we're going to be fine.
Yeah, I think you brought up the right word there, where the closure. This actually will just facilitate it and make it go faster for you guys. Is the closure aspect, because there was that. I'm sure there's that, wondering like why here, why there, why all of a sudden and stuff like that. So, but at least he didn't just like walk away and disappeared. He, he did at least do a process. Say I'm leaving, right? Or was it like within like the moment he said it, a month he's gone?
It was very fast. It was kind of a situation where he used my kids and I having COVID, and us going after a quarantine period, and like he flipped out on me. I've never seen him act like this before. So he used a situation with me to tell my mom he was done. And that kind of was crappy because it was like we were doing fine. He was helping me after he retired. He would like meet me for doctor's appointments with my kids so I didn't have to leave work as early. Like, we were really having a good relationship, and I was like, what? Like, why are you even flipping out on me like this? And so then it just all, like, we knew that he kind of had something planned, but we didn't realize truly what it was.
Got it.
So it just kind of, there was just still some unanswered things. Okay. Like, what is going on? Why is this? And then now...
It's here.
2 years into it, it's like, oh, okay. Because I think he left in September 2022.
Okay.
So it's like, it's been, I'm pretty sure it was then.
So he left right. He left right when they opened up the Philippines pretty much again. And so I think he was planning this before COVID. Right. When COVID started, the plan was there already. Unfortunately.
Because like I said, he was watching a guy that flipped houses. I don't know what his name was, but he was watching a guy that flipped houses for a long time. Okay. And then when my son saw the picture of the girl, he was like, I think that was a girl that he was watching upstairs. And I was like, what do you mean?
Probably the sister.
I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, that looks like the girl that he was watching upstairs. He used to watch a girl sing, and then he was watching a thing about every girl has a story.
Yeah, that's the sister. That's the sister of the girl.
So I think that he probably seen her on there a couple times, maybe.
Got it.
Because this just came from, like I said, my son this week when he saw the picture of the girl. And I was like, what? Like, when did you see him talking to
Don't you hate it? Like, these kids nowadays are like really good at recon. My nephews are so good at it also. Like, so it's hilarious to me.
Right. Well, that's why, like, last night I was like, look, watch this guy. And so then, like, we were laughing about some of the things that she said. And then he was like, you can go to his Discord. And then that's when I messaged you. And like I said, I wasn't trying. It's just like I knew I was telling the truth. So I was like,
yeah.
I'm telling you the truth.
I know, but I come from the part like I need to be.
Right.
I'm a little bit skeptical and stuff like that. Like, I'll tell you one thing: I've been hacked by guys that by some of these guys.
Right.
Like,
Well, I was
so
worried.
it's
I told my
crazy.
son too. I was like, I don't want to message him because how about if they're trying to hack my stuff? And he was like, I don't know. So then I went back and looked at your name and I looked at all this stuff to make sure that I was messaging the right thing.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, it says the same screen name right there, so hopefully it's going to be okay.
Yeah,
And
and that's why I use
like,
Discord.
yeah.
That's why I use Discord so that it's like nobody goes through your email. Because that's where I got before. And
Okay. So I didn't know he put most of the clip on there. Hey, Mike, what's going on? Yeah, so I think that's pretty much breaking it down. I didn't know because we took the clip. Mike gave us permission, and thank you for doing that. We wanted people to hear that clip. I said I'm sure Mike will join us to add to this, and for us to try to put a different take on this, which there's pretty much only one take on this one. But yeah, so we were getting that clip at the last minute, kind of slowed us down this morning. So how are you, Mike?
I'm good. Just waking up. Had a
Yeah.
quick nap. People getting mad at me.
There you go.
Right.
Now, there have been some debates in the chat. Just real quick, let me again put in my 2 cents. Be aware that again, there's an argument that about racial and racist and racial preferences. Now, I understand where Neil's coming from, and I understand where the other gentleman's coming from. Here's an example. I'm not racist. Okay, I'm not. I've dated practically every race there is.
There you
Okay,
go, Mike.
no, really, I have. For example, I've dated
Lord Sith.
two Chinese girls. Okay, now after my experience with these 2 Chinese girls, let's say Heidi didn't exist. I would date Chinese girls, but I would not marry them. That does not make me a racist. The fact that I
George
still
likes
date
to marry
them.
his preferences white women.
So what I'm saying is, remember, racist is a different category altogether. Okay,
I'm
versus
racist,
racial preferences. Again, for example, I would buy from anybody, any point in time, even Chinese girls. But point being, I won't marry one for a lot of reasons because there's some bottom line that does not make the person racist. Now, the other argument would be, now, is the gentleman in question snipped or had a vasectomy?
What do you think, Mike?
To be honest, in both sides, the V word has been brought up. Okay. So the higher likelihood is yes, but at the very same time as you can say that he's not,
Yeah,
right?
this is still an alleged possibility.
Yeah, because what you look at is this woman, right? And she has the right to speak her side of the things.
Correct.
Is she stating it because she heard that there's an argument if he has it or not? Right? You have to look at it both ends, but she had the right to be able to share her part of the story. Right? People are mad at, people are getting upset. Why are you sharing her side? Because she has the right because he put out his side. And you have to look at the part where he said it's not true. Then just say it's not true. But the way he does it is he goes around the system. Like Mark will say, they're stating that you did this, that you did that. Well, in the end, what you're going to find out is, are they going to have a child or not? That's what's going to, that's what's going to solve everything, is if they're going to have a child or not. But maybe he doesn't want to have a child. He hasn't had one with the other wife. Right. So.
Yeah, maybe his junk's just broken, Mike. Maybe he told his first wife, and maybe his junk got broken during when he was a cop or something. Who knows?
Yeah, that's the thing. But but for me, the way I'm looking at the whole thing is, there is the higher likelihood, and I'll say 90%. I'm gonna, even though that's, there's not a real logical way to say 90%, but just in my feelings, 90% of me says that he's been snipped.
That's what I'm thinking, because it was said from the beginning that he had already told that Dumaguete group of friends already that he was like that whole thing that Mark Thornton put out from Critter Hunter. I'll be honest, I
Mhm.
believe Critter Hunter. He's reached out to us. So I actually, at this point, from gut feeling, that he's telling the truth. So usually friends will kind of
Yeah.
spat things off afterwards when there's something else. I mean, they've been known to lie too, but I get a feeling. And then with the daughter, I'm kind of leaning to the side that he is.
Yeah, and there's the little you get George was mentioning a little spat back and forth in the chat. I don't understand where a lot of people still have this idea that the Philippines is not westernized. Like it's westernized. There's a little bit culture that's involved, but it's westernized. So you can't say that, I don't know why people are bringing the Western idea in the Philippines. It exists. What part of the Westernization does not exist in the Philippines? Nobody's going to logically be able to state that. The only difference is culture. And people need to start having that realization. If you think you're running away from the Western problems going to the Philippines and not experience the same exact thing is completely wrong to think, because that's where you're going to come up with problems. Because if you think that it doesn't exist fully in the Philippines, then there's the problem that exists for people.
Sorry.
In my
I just sent a message to Steven himself to ask if he would like to come on the live stream because it's only fair enough to say that we did offer him to come on. So
I think
Yeah,
I
that's
n-
fair.
mean,
now
yeah.
now to
So
clarify what Mike said. Mike says that the Western culture is already here. There's actually Filipinos have a label for it, and the label is called colonial mentality. They're not talking about
what you talking about,
the
Willie?
Spanish colonists. They're not talking about the Japanese. They're talking about the Americans. When they say colonial mentality, they're talking about the U.S. mentality. Here they call it colonial mentality. So if
Yeah,
you
the most
see
recent.
right. So if they say, "Oh, why does he wear that? Why does he wear Levi jeans and wear, FUBUs and stuff like that?" And the first thing most Filipinos will say, "Oh, it's because he's colonially mentality." That's what they say, and that's what the
Mhm.
wording is. So yes, the American culture is already been in the Philippines since I was a little kid. It's not nothing new. It's been on.
Mhm.
Well, who is
Somebody
still
asked
wearing FUBU?
who is still wearing FUBU. I'm gonna answer this for Crazy Man.
I'm like,
So
what you
Crazy,
what you
this is
oh,
what happened. So if you know Damon John who owns FUBU, what they did was because they were losing a lot of money in the beginning, they sold the right for FUBU to a variety of different other countries that they can use it. So
mhm,
in the Philippines, somebody bought the rights to use FUBU. So the Philippines, FUBU outfits that are created in the Philippines are not going to be the same FUBU items that you're going to see in the US. So FUBU still exists. And so,
right.
like, for a lot of people there, if you think there are things that you can only buy at Target, like back in the days, Fila, Converse, those kind of things. In the Philippines, you have real full Converse stores. You have Fila stores in the Philippines that exist still that you're not going to see in the US anymore, because a
Right.
lot of countries bought the right. There's people in the Philippines who bought the rights to be able to still make those products under those names. So food is
Yeah.
still a big thing in the Philippines. For us, by
Yes.
you.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for that clarification, Mike. Yeah, no, it's true. FUBU is still popular here.
There's
Mhm.
a lot of things we say.
What? Well,
I was at the mall. What
it
they have
doesn't
the
count. It doesn't count.
Ocean
That's
Pacific
a
shirt.
fake. That's a fake Ocean Pacific shirt. That doesn't count.
George goes, well, he's at the pizza place. This was a couple months ago. George goes, does that guy have an OP shirt? I said, yeah, it probably came in a Billy buying box or one of those. What is it when they get all those clothes in groups and then they sell them at the Ukai-ukai?
Okay.
Yeah, they
Okay.
get like a big batch that they buy from other countries or where they come over on boats in big bundles. I said, yeah, that's probably where it came from.
It comes from actually the big ukai. You get it from Japan. That's where you
Oh, is
get
that
the
okay?
compact
I
boxes
know
coming
they're
from
always on
Japan.
Facebook selling it.
Yeah,
So
it comes from Japan and India when the ships comes in. Doesn't even come from America.
ah. So on top of this, we've seen the opinions, and I'm kind of on that opinion too. Do you think she'll stay as a kind Filipina and the family? She kind of feels obligated that he'll help with the family, or do you think that she'll stay and start? A few comments, not ours, said that they knew to stay away from her. People have said she's been around the block, which I don't know that. I'm just making what we actually are hearing. This is all hearsay. Do you think she'll stay and deceive
So
him? Or she's
I'm
just
not.
gonna scram and she's like
I'm not
a
gonna
pure
say it's deceiving.
feminist or
Right?
something, and she's gonna be like, "What the," and slap him and leave. How?
Okay. So Mark met Steve. Mark meets Steve and says, "You know what? This guy seems he's more well to do. This guy seems more, a nicer guy. Let's say I know her and the current guy she's with. I don't really like. Sets them up. She's no longer with that guy. Is now with Steven.
Right. She's yeah.
Upgrade, hypergamy, whatever.
Hypergamy.
There's the money exchange, the agreement from it, right? In the video that Mark interviewed Steve, in one part says, I didn't offer the money till after we were together. And there's another part where he says, we were not together. And when we had the conversation with Mark, his wife, in Ground Zero. Okay. So which one's which? Now, if she needs to have a baby, wants to have a baby, because remember, that's your anchor. That's your anchor baby. You need to have that thought in her. You need the anchor baby. That's the full integration. Thing though is, if it's okay for 170 for her, satisfied, she can give that to the family. She doesn't need to work. She will stay. She will truly stay. But here's the thing. If there's a better offer and a chance to really have a baby, and it's in her self that she needs to have a baby, because most Filipinas, most young girls have that want and need to have a child.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
It's that motherly urge. And if
Yeah,
there's
we
that
all-
better offer that she can still get this for that, then there's a high potential chance that she will upgrade. Now, that doesn't mean that she can't fall in love and just say, you know what, forget it, we're not going to have children. I'm just going to marry him. I fell in love with him.
Yeah.
Then she'll probably stay. There's also that potential outcome that comes from it.
She could be in love.
But the question is, is what kind of love is it? It's not. This is not going to be the way the setup is made. It's not true love. Where when you look at the
so you're thinking
Sternberger's triangle of love, right? There's
Yeah.
the transaction, the taking care of me, that can
Right.
be equal to love.
right.
right?
I agree.
He loves me because he provides for me, and I love him too. So there's that, and then of course don't forget there's also the family pressure. Her sister is supposed to be best friends now for Mark
Yeah.
with Steve, right? So the sister's
So
like,
you
don't cause any problems, don't do anything, just stick around, just don't cause any problems, because then you're gonna make us look bad because then you left him for this. So there's a lot of pressure involved. Higher chances for her. She's gonna stay. She's 25. He's young. She's 35. And at the end, if he goes, let's say we give him 20 years, okay, she won't have a child. 10, 20 years, 35 to 45, there'll be another foreigner that's gonna go line up for her. She's still young for that. So
Yeah.
her options is limitless.
So you're saying there's no jungle love there?
Jungle love? What do you mean by jungle love? What do you mean by that?
I've got Jungle Love, that song. I forgot who actually sung Jungle Love. Oh, we, oh, we, oh. You don't remember that song from back in the 80s,
No, I don't.
Jungle Love? All right, never mind.
No, I don't remember the song. But that's the thing that goes on. In the end,
Morris Day in the time.
She's forced. She wins. Wins for the
Yeah.
Filipinas here.
Win for the
At the same time, win for it's win on both sides.
Yeah,
it's cheap
actually,
pussy. and family gets taken care of. How can you not? How is not a win for both sides?
And live out a fantasy and the whole thing. Get to be,
Yeah.
young again,
Yeah.
and
And you're
yeah,
the
just hope he
famous
doesn't throw
Filipina.
a hip
You're the
out or
famous
something.
Filipina in Dumaguete now. So you're the famous one in Dumaguete. It's good. It's level up, man.
Yeah, live up.
Yeah. Now, Smurf Crusher said something on the chat earlier. Somewhat, he says that Charlene is Mark Thorne's wife's sister, and according to Smurf Crusher, is not a Mark Thorne fan. That how is this going to affect the reputation? Now, the problem again, it's actually related to the subject. Now, you guys do realize, or rather, Smurf Crusher, you do realize that Mark Thorne said in his live, or not live, in his one of his videos, that according to him, that the money that's going to, because again, for those of you who are not aware, if you're an expat here in the Philippines and you have a child, you basically get extra money for that child. Okay. According to Mark Thorne, she's going to get that money even after he passes on.
Yeah, no.
No. So what I'm saying is,
Social through Social
No.
Security.
No,
Yeah,
okay. So
Social Security, yes.
he will if he sets it up correctly. But here's the thing. He told his viewers, we covered this about 2 weeks ago, where he said that he's going to set it up now. Like soon as the baby's born, he's going to get a separate payment sent to her bank account for the baby, which is confirmed by Social Security. I called. That's a no. Plus, they say it
No.
on their website. They don't send separate payments for children. First off, the children pretty much have to be in the house. There are some exceptions, but they don't send separate checks. So it will go on his Social Security. So he's saying so she can avoid everything, that he's going to set it up now for separate payments, and that payment will drop in her account after he passes away. She won't have to deal with it. Then he proceeded on to talk about the person that brought the subject up, to say that that yes, you can get separate payments made. He wanted to know if he could split his Social Security check, part to drop in one bank and part to drop in another bank. The answer is no matter what type of Social Security. It's one payment. It can be direct deposited over here, not a problem, which is a whole different situation. Okay, most of the banks you have to go pick it up. They don't issue a debit card. But he told her that she's going to get a separate payment for the baby. As soon as the baby's born, he's going to set that
Correct.
up.
His words after he passes.
Yeah.
I get it
But
when
isn't for Social Security, the wife has to at least be in the United States for a certain amount of time, and it's not a trend.
No, there's a lot of guys, like a lot of those guys that were at Dumaguete recently for that on-site Social Security. They were there, like you have to do a bunch of registration through the embassy, and there's a bunch of setup. But no, you can. You don't have to. But if she wants that check after he dies, then yes, there's a bunch of stuff.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
She has to be eligible, meaning living in
for
the U.S.
her
first.
part, right? No, for her payment, not the baby.
That's what he's saying.
Not
He's
for the
saying,
baby.
So when he's gone,
she doesn't qualify.
But for the baby by itself, I think she can, as long as he registered. But she's going to have to,
as long as he's still alive.
No,
when he passes,
that's
it's
what I'm trying
done.
to say. I'm not talking about like her as his wife can get a separate check for herself. But yes, she has to live X amount of years outside the United States with him.
In the United States.
If she applies, right. But the baby, she can still, as long as it's registered, but she's going to have to reapply for that. She can still collect that, but she won't get the check for herself she's not going to get like a double check or anything, but she would still have to go and reapply for just the baby.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, but the other part of her getting all that check, but he was saying that he was going to avoid all that, and she's going to get a check, for the baby, and she won't have to worry about that. When he dies, all of that just drops, but there is no separate deposits. Maybe he's been telling her that, maybe, and then he's just going to drop a cash amount and just transfer it and let her think it's that. Because when I get a deposit here in our banks, there's just a bunch of numbers. It doesn't say where, how, doesn't even have nothing next to it. And the bank we have is Metro. So what I'm saying is he might get away with just transferring it for the next 5 years, telling her it's Social Security, putting it in there, and then maybe when he's gone, because I heard her moving around the room that day. So you could hear her off in the distance and everything as he's telling this guy that. And George goes, I wonder if he's actually telling her that, this is still going to happen after he passes away. It's not possible at all. So there will be no separate deposits once they got to go in, register the baby, wait for the birth certificate and all of that. So, but separate check, yes, if she goes in and does it, and she will have to. After he passes away, that check is dead. And then hers, she won't get a spouse check, no, because she hasn't, she doesn't meet the qualifications. So,
But that's the problem, is that sometimes some people don't know that, and then here they are, because like a lot of people don't know that till they're dying or till their spouse died, right? And so
right, a lot of
it's like these Filipinas think, oh, when he's not, even like one of my favorite parts is a Filipina who's really using the guy up for what it is, and then when he dies, she finds out she can't get any. That's funny to me. That's hilarious to me. What's sad to me is guys that then tells women that, yeah, don't worry, when I die, I have Social Security that's gonna take care of you, and that's where it kind of sucks, right? Some girls are gonna believe that, and there's girls out there, I'm sure, that got caught up thinking that just because that they share a house together, they never got married, and then all of a sudden bam, it just goes crazy. So it sucks. It sucks
guys,
for both sides.
Sorry there, Mike.
What
We
up,
have
Andy?
Andy Omar in the house. Hey, Andy. And we appreciate your footage this morning too. I just caught your video last night. I knew all this existed and everything. We were just kind of waiting for you guys to drop the hammer there. So we appreciate you joining today. So what's up?
Andy forced me. Andy,
I had to, it was taking so long, and
he was like, "What the hell, man?" And then I woke up
Andy was
today.
itching like a
I woke up today on Andy's video. I was like, "Damn it! I did promise him." I'm like, "Damn it!" I'm like, "I already released the video for the day. I don't want to make another one." I was like, "Forget it. I'll just make this. Let's get it over with."
That was pretty good. It seems like he's very hot news, even though he's not a YouTuber. It seems like a lot of people don't like that guy.
I think he's gonna end up making a YouTube channel eventually. He'll be like, forget it. Might as well use my my fame and make some money out of this.
Oh, then the videos will keep rolling in. I hope he does.
Yeah, well.
I mean, what is a corrupt cop gonna do? Like make more YouTube videos? So he's gonna be a retired cop. Like obviously he's a liar. Like those lies are not overnight. He's been harassing the stepdaughter's friends, making sexual talks, and now he's gonna make a YouTube video after all that exposure. Like really?
Well, I mean,
that. He's gonna make one.
No, I hope he does. Like,
I think he should, but Andy says, "What's he gonna do?"
Yeah, what is he gonna do, really? And imagine later on if he makes a YouTube video and all those girls, the friends of the stepdaughter who got harassed, they're gonna come forward.
Well, Me Too's done in the U.S. Me Too's over. Right. Forget Me Too.
Action is over.
Anyway, guys, I'm about to head out. My final thoughts are that Mark Thornton. I don't know what he's gonna get. I don't think he's gonna get. I don't think nothing's gonna happen. It's gonna take a year or something like that, because kind of like my kid, he was over 1 year old when everything happened. The whole process. He was already 1 year old, so he's on the ticking time. He's TikTok. He's about to go to sleep, and the last note is that Stephen Briggs, you are a monster. All right. Well, I gotta head out, and thank you guys for having me.
Appreciate it, Andy.
Thank you,
Take
Andy.
care.
Appreciate
Be safe,
you.
though.
Later, man.
Yeah, I mean that I know the process takes a while. So, and Mark, although he just made that announcement, we discussed that. I don't know if you heard me say this, Mike. I don't think you were in the room. He announced with that guy that had the 5 boys. Did you see part of Mark Thornton's video the other day? He just did this interview with a guy that has 5 kids. One of them has Down syndrome, and he was like holding him for a long time. Cute little guy, but he come here, start a new life, kind of like our friend Steven here. But he went on to say how healthy he is now, and that the eating here is so much healthier, and he quit all of his medications. He doesn't need the heart pills anymore. doesn't need the diabetes medicine. And Mark Thornton doubled that. And he says, yeah, I don't need my heart medication anymore. And I stopped all my medication. And I'm like, bad idea, because some of it is genetic. Some of it is just a worn out ticker because of their ages. I don't think the diet would totally change, and plus the diet here is they're eating like even Filipinas cooking. And I'm not saying it's bad. It's salty, it's oily, the fried foods on the street, the restaurants. And so I think it's a bad idea if people just drop off a medication unless they're really sure of it. So he did give that advice.
Yeah. Well, to be
And
fair, we don't know what they're eating. That's one thing we have to look at. Maybe they're not eating Filipino food. Maybe they're eating more vegetables, more fruits, whatever. We'll just we'll give them that, right?
right.
Even if you look at Steve, he lost a lot of weight compared to the picture he had with his stepdaughter, and then over here now, you could see a big difference.
Yes. Well,
So
this, like I said, is for the previous interview.
yeah, so maybe that happened, but then it depends on what type of blood pressure medication. Some people, if they lose weight, they become more active. They can remove their blood pressure medication. Of course, that's with the advice of a doctor. That doesn't. But then, if you have been previously with a lot of blood pressure medications, then comes the part where you should be steady taking your blood pressure daily and paying
Well,
attention
like
to that.
Mark, didn't he have stents and he's had a full heart surgery before himself, correct?
Okay, if he's had stents and if he's had a stent done, so then he probably has AFib. So he's probably taking some blood thinners. Maybe you can't stop the blood thinners if you've had those type of procedures before.
Yeah, he's mentioned procedures before. Yes.
Okay, so if you have procedures, more than likely, probably we'll say a blood thinner in there. One, the next thing maybe some blood pressure medications. Sure, because then even though your blood pressure is okay, that doesn't mean you don't take your blood pressure pills. You take it if you may hold it for the day if your blood pressure is hypotensive, so you don't drop up even further. You're going to have your parameters that your physician's going to apply to you and say, okay, you've done better. We can reduce your pills a little bit in half, or then make it, depending on your blood pressure on a daily basis, take your blood pressure, go from there. And take that.
So,
but the other guy,
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
mean,
sure what his diagnoses are, but with Mark, more than likely he can't really stop taking.
right. So he just put out that kind of that advice, and the other guy, and he was agreeing with him and everything. And then I was telling George, I said, "Oh my God, we hear this a lot." And in some cases, I'm not saying all, there's people like me that, just can't. I mean, here I am eating healthy for a few months now. And of course, my blood pressure is still here, but I have my lupus where it affects all my organs. And I have, anemia and a bunch of other things that are messing with my heart. But I cannot, of course, that, I keep taking mine every day, twice a day. So me eating healthy actually did not and still hasn't changed any of that. So, but people need to check with the doctor before they, and check their blood pressure and do all of that before you actually stop it. But yeah. But where we at, babe, on the comments?
Oh.
Yeah, and you said, of course, I was seeing where you say you still have some tidbits you're saving in your vault there, Mike.
Yeah, I some curious it's gonna happen. I've had a couple follow-up calls. So I have some extra stuff. And then of course, can I do a can I go ahead and do a plug? If you guys want to see the real video with the face and the talk,
Yeah, no, go ahead, Mike. Yeah, sure.
it's in my membership.
There you go. There you guys go. Yes. Most definitely. Oh, babe, you can answer. I'm gonna go through the comments. Let's see what you got there, Ruby. That 5,000 US dollars a month, or is that Philippines? Oh, was talking about how much she was getting from her previous guy. Was it 5,000 pesos a month, or was it 5,000 US? I don't know anything about Charlene's previous guy, Mike.
Well, the thing is, I thought it was pesos, but somebody said dollars, although I can't perceive it being as dollars.
Yeah, where did she spend it? I mean, you could. I mean,
No.
probably pesos.
Well, that's what I mean. Now, I believe he initially invested like about $4,500 initially, but even that I question. Now, if it's a month, I don't think he can afford that. Tupac says my ex-wife turned my daughters against me if I Filipino wife and I are only 2 years apart. That was over 33 years ago, Law.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, we always say women are women everywhere, and toxicity is toxicity. And I was telling George yesterday, hey, Mike, I was watching your video with your little passport brother guy. That was pretty good.
It started off fiery, then I de-escalated it.
It's like, correct. Sorry, babe. He de-escalated it, and I was telling George he was kind of in and out doing things with the animals outside and stuff. And I said, because he said that when he gets here and stuff, that he could catch any Filipina and all of that. And I'm like,
Okay. Smurf Crusher, I know you've been at this thing for a while. One doesn't. How can you be racist without being racist? One can't. I disagree with you. Okay.
And honestly, I don't care if I am.
Think of it this way.
Get over it, snowflakes.
Forget race, and that's what I'm saying, because it's more culture. That's why I was trying to get at earlier. For example, again,
I mean, mine are more jokes.
The Chinese. Again, I'm not racist by any means. Again, I've dated all types, and I've dated two Chinese girls at the same time. They're Siamese. No, I'm joking. It's obviously different times. Okay, why wouldn't I want to marry
your boner later?
Marry a Chinese girl? One, okay, I'm familiar with their culture, and their culture doesn't line up with mine. That does not make me racist. That's no different if, say, the girl you're dating now is Muslim and you're a Roman Catholic, and 100%, when I say 100% Roman Catholic, meaning basically that means there's a religion disalignment, which means you guys will never get along at certain points in time, ever. That's what I'm saying. So I get it. You said, no, that's still no. Culture has nothing to do with race. Yeah, religion has nothing to do with race.
I'm just going to be honest here. I miss the old days when everybody wasn't snowflakes and when everybody was so sensitive. I miss George Carlin when he spoke the truth, and when Richard Pryor put it out there, when jokes were jokes, and the comedians are still putting it out, and everybody using the words about this person said that and this person said that and these white people. I think some of the culture got super woke about certain things and got super sensitive about things. And it's like it's the least that people should actually be worried about, unless they're standing outside of your house actually applying something racist on you. They're just words. Words aren't what destroys us.
Right.
Sorry. Unless I have somebody lighting up my front yard, and I've got the K guys out there, or somebody's doing something else, or hunting him down in a subway like George, and they're going off and calling him, the COVID boy. I'm not worried about it. I'm gonna worry about it when it actually happens then. I guess I just come from the 70s, 80s, 90s. We all survived a lot. Mike has survived. And I get it. I get it, but I think it's overemphasized right now, or it's just overdone.
Yeah. What mics are these?
Mike check. They're MYK mics. You can get them in his merch store. Right, Mike?
Oh, no. It's a good brand. They're Maunos. They're Mauno.
Oh, I got a Mauno.
Yeah, these are good mics. That is a Mauno. Okay.
Hey, check it out.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah,
George had Mauno last week.
Yes. Yeah, they're Maunos. Yeah.
So, Mike, did you hear that we ended up with the stomach flu? We were like down since Saturday, and I don't know. Here's the thing: I don't know. I know that I don't know how long it actually takes to actually contract. But the only place we really was at that Japanese restaurant a week ago. So it would have been Monday and Saturday we were sick. And we've been getting a lot of
24 to 36 hours.
Okay, so then
so how some people that they eat something made them sick. Most of the time it's what they ate the day before that made them sick. Not unless that they have something that's like
so then we got a delivery of chicken from Inacel. And so we actually had food delivered. So because I know the one that we actually got, it can actually be from surfaces, and it's not because it's uncooked, but it could have been from surfaces or traded off by somebody. Once one person's sick in the house, they're all actually sick. Now there have been many cases starting at the beginning of February here in Angel City. They're saying a bunch of the water was contaminated or something, certain wells being tapped and different things. There's like a bunch of cases going around. So it does go from person to person. Like I said, we've been accepting packages every day, twice a day. So it's hard saying.
Mm.
So then, if it is, yeah. So George got the worst of it, which
Yeah,
I'm
actually,
surprised.
I mean,
look at myself. I'm really
I
reddish.
remember I had dirty ice cream a long time ago. Like my
Oh,
sister and I had dirty ice cream. It was a bad one. We know that because that was it. But literally within so we ate it, and my dad said that maybe about 2 hours later, my sister and I was hallucinating, and we woke up like 2 days later at the hospital in Alabang.
okay.
So
That's what
we're at the
George.
Alabang hospital. Yeah, woke up. I was like, "Where are we?" I'm like, "We're in Alabang. We're in Alabang hospital." I forgot the name of the hospital. But it was in Alabang, and
Yeah,
it was pretty crazy because we
the
used to live by that
doctor's
area.
thinking it's norovirus. So
Ooh, then you probably got in the water.
norovirus. Yeah. So and
Did,
yeah, but I
did you guys?
can't think
Do you
of
guys open your mouth when you guys take showers?
sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you should. When you take showers in the Philippines, turn away from the water
Okay.
and
So
and close your mouth because you can drink filtered water. You can buy the 5-gallon blue jugs and all you want and stuff like that. But the moment that you take a bath in the Philippines, that water goes on your face, just
okay.
drips down and your mouth open. All you need is a couple drops inside your tongue and you're done for.
Well, and see, we've been brushing our teeth from the water.
With regular water? Good, no.
Yep. Yep.
New. Filtered
Yep.
water all the way through. Anything that goes
Yeah.
in any in any orifices, pretty much just use regular water. I mean filtered water. Even
Yeah.
that's just the
Well,
most
we knew
important
that the
thing you
water
can
here,
have.
we filter most of it that comes out of the sink, and then the water that's in the house, since we moved here, we can tell they've got bleach and everything, but something has gone south in the
Mhm,
last 60 days. There's been hundreds of cases. And so
mhm,
it started out, it might be where I contracted first because of the lupus and the autoimmune thing.
mhm.
But George,
Yeah.
and I had a slight fever and was sweating yesterday, but George was at 103. And so he was
Mm.
sweating, shaking, and still major issues. But yeah, so we finally, after 3 years, got hit. So, but
Yeah, you gotta be careful. Stay away from the block ice too. Don't buy the ice. Don't believe this whole thing that if it's cloudy or if it's clear good, cloudy is bad. Doesn't matter. Ice is ice.
yeah.
Water's water.
Yeah. Yeah, no. So no, that we all do from we got like a 3 water system because a lot of the guys in this area and down through Angel City, they don't always change those filters on a regular basis. So we started filtering our own
Mhm.
water with a
Get a
Westinghouse,
Kangen.
I think. What's that?
Get a Kangen. It's also even better for you, anyways. Technically, alkaline water.
Yeah.
They sell in the Philippines. Kangen systems.
What you got there, babe? The conversation.
Hmm? Oh, nothing.
George,
Oh. Yeah. George is still under the weather.
Very much so.
All right. Let's see. What do we got? Smurf Crusher still saying traditional relationship roles are respected in the Philippines. They are rare in the West.
It's not rare in the
Um,
West. You have the conservative people in the United States of America who far more exceeds that stuff in regard, especially So the thing though is it may be rare for you as a person, right?
right.
This the people need to stop this whole thing about just the fallacies that they have regarding to their own experiences. Just because that's your experience, that doesn't mean you can say that it's
That's the
rare
exception.
in the United States of America, that's really unfair to be had. That's just a bunch of logical fallacies. You're using what we call fallacy, right? It's your experience. So then I can then say, okay, well, how about the what we see a lot in Reputational? It's more prominent. It's what you see. It's what you experience. It's what people around you says that. So to be able to say that, no, I see a lot of traditional relationships that are in the United States of America that
Right, and the
truly,
same
truly
thing that
exist.
happens over there actually happens here. Like you said, they all end up on Rafi Tufo. You got these Filipino
Yeah.
guys that are cheating. The women cheat. It's all here. And me and George, for the most part, have a traditional relationship. It's me that does the cooking and the shopping. And there's a lot of people think that that it's not. We do have a traditional. I mean, what's the description of a traditional relationship? Your mom in the 70s or what they think? I mean, and a lot of people have a different idea what that actually means. So it can vary, but eh, it's it is what it is on that. What do you think on the traditional relationship? I'm not going to go into that we're equal situation. I
Well,
mean, I know you still wear the pants, or they think I 100% wear the pants, but
I don't think people view traditional as what most normal people think of. Kind of like what Neil said. One reason why family is so important is that there is no social security. Many times, their children are their social security.
mhm.
Now, for example, that's one. A lot of times, there's an old saying. Mostly the ones that don't live in U.S. The ones that I always hear, like, "Oh, Americans." It's not coming from me. Americans,
Mm.
they send their elderlies to the nursing homes because they don't care about their parents. Now there's several okay. There's several reasons for that. Again, I can't vouch for every single one, but point being is usually there's reasons. Now here, yes, it's frowned upon if here that you send off your parents to a nursing home. Do they exist here? They do. They
Mhm.
exist here. But as a general rule, they don't.
Yeah, someone asked about if the Filipinos take care of their elderly. They were wanting to know how come that elderly person was in that lot. We had that house. Somebody set our yard on fire. I don't know if you've seen that 8-minute video the other day, Mike. But an elderly person, probably in their 80s or so, started a fire because they were cold, and they
Yeah.
set the whole lot across the street. And within minutes, if it wasn't for our dog barking, then the cars against the wall, which included ours, would have went up. And she set
Gotcha.
a table on fire. That banana tree we have. I have a whole bunch of bananas. George says they're not going to ripen up, but the whole tree came over and everything else. But the whole corner of that lot was on fire, and
Yeah,
it's not all
I
of them.
saw that.
Yeah, not all of
That's
them are
crazy.
going to be in nursing homes. So they actually wanted to know, or taken
Mm.
care of, because nursing homes don't exist. Sometimes family doesn't exist.
Right.
Yeah,
And
and
now,
you have to look at it as the exception from the rule. There are gonna be holes that's gonna be missed. We
Mhm.
don't know the history of that woman. Maybe her kids died or before her. Maybe,
Right. Maybe she
there's
had.
a whole different things that can happen. But one thing is known in the Philippines, like there's not Medicaid in the Philippines fully that's gonna be able to have these places that's gonna be taking care for these old people. That's a lot of these places that do take care of old people that are in that dire position outside are going to be a lot of the Catholic organizations. It's mainly Catholic organizations that are going to be putting that together. So, I mean, there's exception from the rule. Just like I'm not going to fully believe that, in America it's far gone. I mean, there are still people that will take care of their family. The thing that goes on with that is that the availability to provide care for your family is going to cost you money in the United States of America. So,
Right.
in the Philippines, they are going to hire a maid if they can afford it, or one of the kids is going to stay around with Lola and Lolo and stuff like that. So, it just all depends. It's just cheaper in the Philippines in the
Mhm.
end. There's a couple nursing homes in the Philippines that are like American style nursing homes. Those are going to cost you $1,500 to $2,000 a month.
Right.
For
That's
full
about
care.
the going price. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and speaking of traditional, a lot of you guys don't know, guys and girls. A lot of you guys and girls don't know. And I'm not attacking my kind or my race. Here's the thing. A lot of people don't talk about this. And did you guys know that it's very common here in the Philippines that the main breadwinner is the woman and the husband is a tambay?
Tambay.
Was it normal or just it's seen a lot?
It's very common, yeah.
It's very common in the lower economic status people. That's the truth. That you really see that the women, because what people don't understand in the Philippines. Just to add to what George is saying, is there's more job availability for women in the Philippines than for men.
Correct.
And because it's a lot of hard labor in the Philippines, so a lot of the jobs available for men are hard labor, which then also is paid less. So in regards for lower socioeconomic communities and stuff like that, that is so true. You see that. And that's why you see more women are more OFWs are women and stuff like that. So that really does exist.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
and guys, yeah, when you arrive here, trust me, I personally have never seen a male cashier here in the Philippines. I mean, I personally have.
I have.
I'm pretty sure. Have you?
Bench,
You have Mike?
penthouse, SM. Yeah, they're there. You know,
Oh, okay.
they're there. They're there. They're not the salespeople. Not unless you're in the not unless you're in the most male salespeople are going to be like in the luggage section. But like mostly
The
it's
hardware
female.
store had all guys. There were a
Yeah,
couple
yeah.
girls in the hardware place, but most of them that I've seen, like in the grocery stores and
Well, but usually they have a dedicated cashier.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
it just all depends. Pen shop, bench and stuff like that. You'll see a lot of guys in there. For a lot of the sports stores, you're gonna see more men there. Just depends on what the category is, I guess. And how they kind of put it. But and the thing is, what people don't understand, guys, I want you guys to know, in the Philippines, it's a matriarchal society. It's not patriarchy in the Philippines. It's matriarchy. And if you don't know that, then you don't know. It all relates. Female power in the Philippines has always been up there.
it's
It's
up
always
there, yes.
you take it up with baybayins and stuff like that. So if you guys don't know what the history in the Philippines, look up baybayins and stuff like that. I mean, no, not baybayins, baybaylans. I'm so sorry. Get that correct. And when you know the history that exists, it only changed a little bit when it came apart when the Spanish came over, and they tried to control the narrative where females were had to be more Maria Clara like and stuff like that. And then that, because the Spanish came over, then you had the Kapampangans who were in the area where the Spanish were. A lot of the Kapampangans moved up all the way up to the Pampanga region. But Kapampangan is Tondo, Manila. That's the original place. If you guys know where Tondo in the Philippines is, that's the original Kapampangan place because it's
Really?
right by the water. Yeah, Pampang. From the river bed. So that's what Kapampangan is. So the Manila River, that's the original Kapampangans are the original Luzon people. And that started from Manila area, Tondo area, and expanded all the way up to Pampanga region. But the original, where the Datus and stuff like that were in the Tondo area. That's the original area for Kapampangans. That's history of the Philippines. And the babaylans with the datu, right? Datu is the highest part, which is patriarchal. It's a man, but babaylans were mainly women, females that were, you can say, whatever, which is what the British would call them, but they're the healers, the leaders of the people, those storytellers, and babaylans, which are primarily women, also can be cross dressers. So. So that's history in the Philippines, guys. If you guys don't know, now you know.
Now you know.
There you go.
That's pretty good, Mike. That's coming to my head. Now you know. Smurf Crusher is busy there today.
Yeah, I know. He's very active.
Yes, Steve Miller. I'm talking about Jungle. There might be another thing for that. No, them were Chihuahuas I was showing you, babe. So,
Why is the hot-headed love boat captain fighting if he
Jungle
had
Love,
heart
Morris Day.
surgery?
That's the song I was singing.
Oh, why is he aggressive if he had heart surgery?
Yeah. Who knows?
No, yeah, you can. You can go to the embassy for the dependency credit. Yes. Yes.
Dependency credit. Huh?
Yeah, you're talking about his children. That's dependency, right? First dependent.
Well, first you have to have all the documents, and then yes, you actually have to register them. There's a name for it. I don't have all of that. I don't get that much involved, but yes, you have to go in and sign up for it. It takes some time.
Yeah.
You have to have certain certificates and things notarized, and you got to apply for this. And as I'm to understand, I'm trying to remember. Somebody said there was. I'm trying to remember. Maybe Ruby had known that. There's a point in time where they actually ask for proof that the child is the person's. I think that's during that time. I could be wrong.
Right.
I don't think it's the time when they apply for their. But at one point in time, they will at some point ask for, a DNA match and everything. And I don't remember what stage about the baby or what they're applying for actually asked for that. So.
Right. Jim Riggs. Does anyone know if Dexter is pursuing charges against Thornton?
Do not know.
I don't think it's gonna
And
happen.
if it's going to happen, it's going to be down the road.
Well, I thought somebody said there are something in the works,
There's
but
something in the works,
they
but
can't release
say.
anything. Yeah. So
It could just all be chatter and
yeah. And this is part of the circle, the ones on Dexter's side that are part of the circle that told us we can't talk about that because there's something in the works. Now, whether or not they're gonna pursue it or just
drag
you know
it
what,
out.
or,
I mean,
or
but they're
just
not
forget
using it. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
not using it. So
It-
need Sam Kinnison back, right?
If their
Him
charges
too.
put out, if there's charges put out, great. But eventually, this might just go to the barangay, and they might try to quash it. Because
Right.
the thing, though, is now if they get a little bit too wacky, then they might go up against each other and really go through it.
Yeah.
But if they step back and honestly look at it and say there might be more that comes out from this that could cause potential problems for both of them, then they would back away. But if they really are not level-headed, then they're gonna file the charges against each other. But you're just gonna open up a lot of potential problems for both sides.
When did you
Either
have
or, I got my popcorn.
dirty ice cream last?
When did I have dirty ice cream?
Yeah, because you just had some from the vendor when we did that footage the other day. How long ago was that? Because it's not a 48-hour period for the norovirus. It could be days before it. He had dirty ice cream this week too. Yeah, no, it actually could take time. It could take some time, and things take a lot of time here. It could be months that passes before anything's even. They could sit on it, already turn something in, and then sit a little bit, and then bring it back up.
Yeah.
So things can, in that case, move really slow. Philippines and Beyond said Thornton's already been served, is what he had heard.
There you go.
We have put the link in here if you guys want to join the live stream. It's pinned to the top for those that want to actually join and come in regards to this entire situation. But here's the thing: I'm also thinking, how? I mean, just off the top of my head, how do you think Mark will react to this whole thing if he thinks he's been lying about different things that he's been backing him up on?
I think Mark is the one who's trying to bend the truth so he knows about it. So, Mark will probably just maybe delete the video, but it's in
Yeah.
the wrong video to delete
Like
though.
World Zoom. He came in hard at World Zoom and said he had, a liar on his channel, and he went through all that. Well,
he did it with Justin. He did it with Dexter. And he'll do it again. And the thing though is, he has every right to do what he wants to do with his channel.
that's right. It's his channel. We
Okay,
agree.
it's his channel. He can do what he wants. That's on him. The thing though is, I don't, for his sake, I don't think he wants to mess around a little bit with the Steve thing. And the reason for that is, if Steve is married to his wife's sister, that's going to cause problems within the family as well. So you don't cross that either, because you never know what's going to happen from there. So, I mean, if the charges go through, the charges goes through. If Mark ends up having to leave the Philippines because of it, because he can be considered blacklisted for that. I get a reaction today. I'm going to post it tomorrow. On a recent tool that came out this morning, and this lady filed charges to get him blacklisted while he's still in the Philippines for something very simple. It's easy to get it done. So maybe Dexter just got hurt really bad because it got exposed, it got shared, and so now he really wants to bring down Thornton, which he has every right, because he did bloody him up, right? We can, no matter what we say, the point, Mark is the one that abused Dexter. Because here's the thing: did Mark openly admit in the video evidence? Then, if Mark says I defended myself, did he go to get a medical check to get proof that there were scuff marks, whatever things happened? He didn't say anything about that, so he doesn't have that. He can no longer use that as a defense for himself. Okay. I mean, if I was him, before he did that, smack your face a couple of times, put a couple of bruises here and there, just go get a medical, do what some toxic women do in America, just put some fake bruises on you,
Right.
have your woman suck your face a little bit, give you a hickey in the face and make it look like a
Hickey on
bruise or
the
something.
eye.
I'm just saying, but he doesn't have any of that because, maybe he does, we don't know. But I don't think he was thinking. So Dexter has a good case, and Dexter has a good case to kick him out if that's what he wants. If he really, truly, that's what he wants, he has every right to continue on with this and kick him out. And then people are going to say and be mad at Dexter. There's going to be the other side, because look what you did. Now he has to leave his pregnant wife in the Philippines and blah, 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 this, that. I was, well, that's choice. Made the decision to choose the wrong man, and Mark made the decision to get into a fisticuffs when he could have backed away. So don't blame Dexter for what happens to Mark's wife, is my first thing. Blame Mark, right? So that's just how I look at it in regards to a lot of these things.
Yeah, that's what you're saying. It doesn't matter all the words and who was involved and all the guys that hate everything. It was that final action that's going to get him in trouble. Because that's the first thing I would want to be saying. Well, Dexter said this about me and so said that. And I just lost my mind and went off, and that, but I'm telling you what, they kicked me out. So I should have thought about that hard before I would have went at that other person and punched him in the eye and did all that, because he should have figured something. But looks like, I don't know, looks like things got the best of him. And
but Mark's not going to go down without a fight. That's the thing. Mark's not going to, and actually this is a good comment right here. Mark's not going to go down with a fight. If he's going to lose this, he's going to go down scratching, clawing while his cruise ship sinks in the bottom of the ocean, right? So he can open up potential problems for Dexter, for Justin.
Yeah, he's gonna kick. Yeah, he's gonna put some dirt out, and
the lawyers, like Filipina Beyond says, the lawyers are gonna have a field day here. The prosecutors are gonna have a field day. People don't understand. They want these type of people say, well, they're not gonna make too much mind about Americans or whatever. They do, because it builds up news. And a lot of these prosecutors and lawyers wants these cases because they can position themselves as protecting the Philippines, and then they can move themselves up when it comes to a lot of these cases. So people need to understand, especially Dumaguete, which is a very political area. So you have to watch out what goes on with these people. You may get away with this in Manila, but not in Dumaguete, because they need these clout.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Yeah, and it's kind of like that case that I had last year and everything. I wasn't gonna, we discussed that with Mike, and I'm like, I'm not gonna go back and forth with this other person. I said it's gonna come down to who has more money in the end, and I'm not even gonna pretend and sit around and pay for attorneys forever. Just wanted to settle that as quick as possible. But in a case like Mark's, deportation was definitely on the horizon. For me, it wasn't. It was just a matter of being drug out, drug out, drug out. And you got to know when to quit, there's just limits to all things when it comes with expat attorneys, the law and everything. But in his case,
like I said, pick your battles.
There you go.
Some battles are worth winning, and some battles just are not worth it.
And you said that, Mike, didn't you? Mike said, pick and choose your battles. And I'm like, I was all ready to go and stuff. And I'm like, you know what? I don't want to waste even one day in court. It could have went on for 2 years. And we was just kept paying that attorney that we had over there in Manila. And I'm like, ugh. So, they rarely prosecute on what they were wanting to do, but it still was going to nickel and dime us in time and money. For Mark, I think it's going to.
Yeah, it's gonna drag. And when people like, if I wanted to be like people like, oh, you're so wrong, Mike. I'm like, if I really want to be a bad person here, I would contact ABS-CBN, I would contact GMA5, I would call Philippine Bulletins, I would contact all these places, because this is a perfect news thing for a news cycle. There's drama, chismis, afams. Like if I was like a mean person, trust me, I would contact one of these media places, like, you guys gotta check out this thing. And then they're saying that there's court cases, so you can go ahead and apply to get the information about those court cases for media and stuff like that. Yo,
right.
It's gonna get juicy. And then there's pictures of a bloody foreigner. There's a Philippine business that's involved that's mad. Yo, this is a perfect 45 1-minute segment for the news on TV right now. Just saying.
Yeah, Philippines and Beyond says, I'm sure Thornton has backers to finance his legal bills.
Well, sure, yes. That's the case. Question is, how long are they willing to?
Yeah. Yes.
Because they don't want their fantasy spots.
Soho, right?
Yeah, contact Jessica Host.
Ooh, because wait, Mark's wife is pregnant. This is a Jessica Soho moment also.
Yeah.
They were like, isang apam nakipaglaban sa isang apam. Naiwan yung babae buntis sa Pilipinas.
Yep, that's about right.
That's how it's gonna sound.
I don't even know what you said, Mike, but that's how it actually.
That's how she would say it too.
That's how it's gonna sound, man.
That's exactly
isang Pilipinang buntis naiwan ng kanyang asawang apam dahil nakilaban sa mga ibang apam. Iniwan siya at pumuntang Amerika. Sa susunod na kabanata. Jessica Soho. That's gonna be, man.
Yeah.
You're probably gonna hear me narrating it just for the fun of it.
No, that's hilarious. That's exactly how it will. No, basically, what Mike said, basically in a nutshell, is expat leaves his pregnant wife and moves back to America, something like that. It's just how it's hard to translate, only because it would, it just doesn't make sense. But anyway, it's hilarious.
Now's really the time to do wife swap.
What's that?
Remember we talked about me going and living with Campbell, me going and living with Old Dog. But I said it's not fair that the other girls get to come and live with you. I said then it'd be kind of like Easter Day every day. Probably super sweet up in here like a chocolate Easter bunny.
Why don't you wife swap with Steven?
Steve who? Yeah, I guess I don't mind that his banana's broken.
Maybe that way Charlene will get her kid.
Which reminds me, the tool thing from this morning.
One at that, huh? Do what?
That tool thing that I did a review on for this morning, hilarious. Even the British guy, and that's why I'm putting it out, because shout out to John, the British guy.
Right.
But the British guy was like, yeah, they call me patay na, what do you call this thing? Patay na kabayo, right?
Old dead horse. Potato chip, huh?
Eating a
dead horse, pretty much. So that means he's like, right? So and he's like proud of it. I was like, well, no wonder you're having problems with your woman.
Guys, I just put the link in there if somebody wants to join up and discuss what you guys think will actually happen. What you think of Steven's stepdaughter with her confessions of a stepdaughter, and the other topics I see where we had the woke conversation coming in there. I call them super sensitive people. Oh, there's another one. Somebody mentioned Sam Kinison too. So you got Sam Kinison, and then you have like we said, throw Roseanne Barr in there and some real truth spinners. And if all these people talk and they irritate people, then I'm going to call them woke. Johnny Carson. Who else actually spins all those truths?
I'm more of a Daily Wire person.
I like Daily Wire. There you go. Yep. And that show definitely turns people. Candace Owens and a bunch of those others that actually put some stuff out. But yeah, it's just a bunch of truth.
Charlie Kirk, all those kind of things.
Is it Carson Daly in that or no?
He's MTV. What's this?
There's another guy. Sorry, I'm thinking of somebody else. The Daily Wire. I thought there was something Carson in that group.
Oh, you're talking about the dead guy,
Johnny?
No, Carson. Well, part of Daily Wire was you had the doctor Carson.
That's who I'm probably thinking of. I just said it wrong. Yeah, I've got the MTV guy mixed up in there. Shoot, I know my mind's out there, but no. But yep, sorry there, guys. No takers. We're missing our Go Bobo. Must went to sleep early. We did have the time change and everything, so.
Oh, that's right. We do have a time change.
So we're on an equal. So yeah, it's
we do have a time change.
It is exactly. Now it's 12:10 p.m. here now, so it's 12:10 a.m. for you. So you guys used to be 11, so the hour did change with everybody. We were going to change, but this seems to be, even if we go 5 hours, people hang around. So I think a lot of our people are here. A lot of people are in the U.S. or already retired or just late nighters, and I'll pass.
Ben Carson. My process, Ben Carson.
Ben Carson, yeah, because he used to be part of the Daily Wire. He had a show, the Daily Wire, also.
Yeah.
So does Jordan Peterson has a show there too.
Who's the guy? George always fills me in. Who's the guy from Jackass?
Which one?
Johnny Knoxville?
No, the other one. The one that
Steve-O?
Steve-O in the van. Have you seen him do those interviews with the people in the van? He's got that
that's
van.
Right.
Yes.
He has his own.
He brings in all kinds of. Yeah. So I like that one.
He's got a good show. Steve-O's got a good show.
There's several. Philippines and Beyond says Go says he's a troll, but you know what? There's been several of them. We were discussing him, me and George, or her. I don't believe it's a her. You can change all that. You can change your accent. You can change the tone and everything else. But then at one point, Go mentioned something about the pistol stuff from his channel or something. So they're kind of throwing different things out, but they definitely watch all the channels. But when they were laughing about Regular Guy and some things saying how much they like that channel, I was like, I don't think too many women would say They like everything that goes on his channel, not certain type of women. And the way he follows, the women around, the creepy things that he does would turn a regular woman off. So I'm not thinking it's a guy, but we know there was a Go-Go Bobo sister, and then there was just a Go-Go, and then there was a bunch of them that came through. Um, what's the German guy's name?
Aloe Winters.
Aloe Winters. Go-Go showed up a lot in Aloe Winters, and he has that crew over there, the old crew from back in the day and stuff. And I don't know. I know Andy's been in on his channel. So I know Go-Go started off. That's the first time.
There. See, that's what Hector Gubat says. You should invite Popeye, Nico's experience in Aloe, that
Swiss Phil guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know about that. So that's the group I'm talking about. That's where I've seen Go-Go Bobo. Do you know any of that group, Mike? Popeye, Nico.
Not Popeye, Nico. I'm not familiar. The other guys I'm very familiar with.
Yeah.
Philippine Symbiont says Go-Go is an Aussie guy in his 50s.
Yeah, it's hard saying, but yeah, I didn't believe any of that. But interesting conversations, that's for sure. That's why I don't have.
Ooh, dang. Ruby says, agree with Soho or any other reputable journalist, but not Toolful.
Oh, snap.
Oh, dang.
Ooh, Sheila Pula. Ate B, you're red? Are you red? Are you Pula?
Okay, now the reason why Ruby said that is because for those of you who are familiar with Jessica Soho's work and Tufo's work, Soho is more on a journalistic point of view, and Tufo, be honest with you, it's a show.
Yeah, I kind of get that.
I'm not against Tufo by any means, but it's a show.
Yeah, I think there were some people that got sensitive the other day when I said that, or we mentioned that he laughs at people, or he's even been known to make jokes.
He makes fun of his guests, and
like the one with the eyebrows, and some other times he did. And I said, yeah, to me, it's entertainment, kind of like us.
Right.
We try to cover it from a different perspective, and we usually only bring in things that kind of come into the conversation of expats and talk about expats. We usually put out pure expat help, but evidently they didn't grab anybody. Now that the country's reopened, hardly anything on that one. So I'm like, let's just talk about expats, whether they've got a channel or not. So, but no, it's for me, it's weird that he is a senator, and it does seem to be entertainment. Then they said, oh, but he helps a ton of people. Yeah, we know he does for sure. He definitely helps a lot of people, and he resolves things, but it's just different for me. It's really
it's just not something that you're used to in the West, that you know, because a lot of times when you're in politics, you have to give up everything of your normal life, businesses,
right?
And
you
concentrate
strictly business. So it's definitely something different.
Right.
But that's just how it is in the Philippines.
Yeah, have respect for investigative journalists, not for commercialism.
Yeah, and he does throw his commercials in there. I told Georgette the other day, it was really weird for me that he, right in the middle, he pops open a commercial and stuff. And I was like, but hey, been seeing that a lot here lately. You get about 2-3 minutes into there, all of a sudden they'll pop out. I said, I know there's a commercial coming. And like I was watching something on training the pets and stuff, and all of a sudden it popped up and say, buy this and it's healthy for your dog. And I'm like, I think I'm in the middle of a commercial. It's like, I am.
Right. Now, Hector Guba did say, again, I'm not against Tufo by any means, but watch Tufo when he's in a Senate hearing. Now, here's the thing. All politicians are showmen, meaning
the greatest showman on
they'll dish out whatever their supporters basically kind of nudge them to support, if that makes any sense.
I tell you what, it's become a 3-ring circus in the U.S. too. So I mean, I've seen how they handle things
same thing
here.
In the U.S.
Yeah,
politics
I'm saying it's
politics,
getting more
right,
but they're getting more and more.
It depends on.
But it wouldn't be surprised if either side would like break out their laugh tracks or cool stuff and hit some buttons. Yeah, that would be fun. Could you imagine that in both sides?
They probably do it. So I mean, they.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Biden's speech, right? Somebody trolled him and was like, lie. I forgot the person was yelling liar. I think. So it's like, it's gonna happen. That's just politics. And the thing though is,
Oh, you talking about that woman that made him say that, a woman that got that was off
somebody
the
was during his speech. Somebody
Oh, they
trolled
were
and somebody
heckling
was
him. Okay, there
yelling
were several
and heckling. Yeah.
instances during that
So
things got
you
to happen.
you have that, but Philippines, you have people need to understand. Philippines, a lot of the people that holds positions are ex movie stars and TV stars.
Yeah.
That's just how it goes on in the Philippines. So like you can even say the one of the you have Robin Padilla, for example, who was the action leading man of the Philippines during the 90s and 2000s. He's a politician, so it's like, a lot of these guys are entertainers. So
Yeah, or like Manny Pacquiao. Yeah.
Pacquiao, well, he's a fighter, but he's also a movie star and a singer and a basketball player.
Position, did he not?
Yeah.
Yeah, Manny held
he's a senator. He's a senator.
Yeah.
So people just need to in the you can't get away with it. It is what it is.
Yep.
Especially the Tulfo family. They're all the brothers. One brother is, I think, in Congress. Then the other brother has also another TV show, but is more of like a John Walsh, arresting people, catch a predator stuff. That's his brother. With you have Bitag for his other brother. Then you have Rafi, who has action.
Yeah.
But anyways, guys, I'm gonna step out.
All right.
Is there any question? Question? I'll answer the last question.
Yes, Mike. What cologne are you wearing? What cologne are you wearing today?
Today, I'm actually using. What am I using actually? Sauvage is what I'm using today. Sauvage. Anyways, peace out.
All right.
Later.
George has got Vapor Rub on today. That's his scent of the day. Vapor Rub.
That's mommy.
Brought to you by the V. Show the V, babe. Ready? By the V. The Vicks.
Oh, dang. I haven't heard this in a while. It's similar during the ERAP days, where the masses believe his movie careers were his real life, ignoring that he's from a rich family and studied in exclusive university in Manila. ERAP.
Well, a lot, yeah. A lot of the politicians are the same in the U.S. They have to have extensive money to win. The same with the beauty pageants and stuff. The amount of money, like they just had the one here for the Mavalakit, the women, and it goes by barangay. These women have all basically got skin lightening, hair straightening, nose jobs. All of them almost look. I mean, they all have that colonial Western look to them, and expensive clothes. So their families are soaking big money, and I think a lot of them come from the richest families that are in each barangay. So beautiful women. We just had a Jollibee video on that had a bunch of them in there and everything. We would love for somebody to join our actual panel. If you guys haven't subscribed, why does that say? If you guys haven't subscribed, be sure to subscribe. And be sure to do a like or a dislike on this, guys. We're not going to tell you that, we want everybody to agree with that. We did forget that, didn't we? Yeah, definitely. So we would love for you guys to join up. And like I said, we're not, without saying, we don't want people to come in and talk like, like I said, we were going to not have people with synthetic voices and photos. That's okay if you guys do want to come in and talk, with us that way, as long as it's respectful and productive and it's not like, so, and we're not saying to disagree or agree with us either. So either way, we would love to hear from you guys. It's you that makes this channel. We do appreciate everybody being here and our members. Did you go through all of the comments? Twofold. We can play some more of that footage. Would it actually show where you stopped on that?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to start back up the rest of that footage that we had so you guys can
a lot of these guys don't like me just because I kind of give the truth and I try to pop the bubble a little bit. And do what you guys want to do, but my thing is that I at least want you to arrive and do something safe. And what they're doing, the scenarios that they're doing, is not safe among each other. And obviously, I mean, I'm sorry, it's just 170 was a good price for a girl, I guess. I'm just saying, right? I
screenshotted your definitions of tricking. That was funny.
Oh, you like that one? Yeah, because my thing is like that's my thing. It's like
screenshot it and send this to my mom.
Yeah, I try to put some laughter in it, but be a little bit serious about it as well. So
right, but it makes sense because like, even though if it's not sexual, then pleasures would be for her still being with you. So it's the same thing. Like you're still paying her to be with you, basically. Like whether it's for sex or it's just for entertainment or it's for you to walk around and have somebody by your side. Like it's the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, people get paid to cuddle with people nowadays without anything, right? Like, so I mean, but still, in the end, there's still some exchange of body warmth. We'll just say it that way, right? So it's like, But you know what? I appreciate that you guys have closure, though. That's one thing that I appreciate the fact that you guys have, and I think that I don't know if you're ready to have your mom watch it, or maybe you kind of have her absorb it first. But at the same time,
she's seen the video of him. She just hadn't seen the one of yours, and I had told her about it. And so I think that she may come over here later to my house, and so I was going to show it to her. But she did watch the other one.
Got it. Okay.
Where he was interviewed. And there was something else I was going to say when you mentioned about, I was going to say, like, it's funny to watch, like, the drama because, like, here, I mean, he wasn't like that. So I was really, like... I feel like I looked at my son because, like I said, he just started middle school, whatever. I was like, I feel like I'm listening to something about you. Like, all these different names and all this different... I was like, I literally feel like I'm watching something you would have came home from school and told me about.
You know what? Dumaguete changes a lot of guys. I would even say, like, I don't know if, like, you can't even call it midlife crisis because it's past that. But some of these guys turn back into a bunch of 15-year-olds when they get to the Philippines. I don't understand it. I try to look at it in a psychological aspect of things, but there must have been a lot of things that you missed or that you felt that you missed. But to wait, I understand midlife crisis. I don't understand end life crisis.
Right.
So that's what I'm calling it right now, is end life crisis. So it's like...
Right, because they're all old. Well, not old, but they're all older.
They're all old.
We'll use that term in fairness, and so it's like, and in the U.S. and stuff like that, we get a lot of those misogynistic guru men sometimes. That's a little bit too much for me sometimes. I understand where it's coming from, but that's the push. They're pushing guys to go to South America, go to the Philippines, go to Eastern Bloc of Europe and stuff like that. But in the end, who you are as a person is who you are where you go. And at the same time sometimes it brings the worst out of you if you don't pay attention. And, and that's what you're seeing a lot happen in that particular part of the Philippines, unfortunately.
Mid-60s. If you're talking about Steven, I believe
if you have any questions now, that I know that you're true, you don't need to video call me. But if your mom or you guys have questions and things, let me know, and I'll gladly be able to answer some stuff. If she needs additional things to help her with closure.
There's a 30-year difference for...
Okay. So that's pretty much what I can say for that.
And Mark, that's the one that has the 40 year, almost 40 years.
The only thing I can say is, like, I always wish people the best. Like, that's just who I am. But at the same time, like, that's just... it's just crazy. Like, I just think it's too much drama. Like, if you got to go through all of that to even be anything, and then
all right, you didn't have to take it down all the way. I was just going to react. That's what I was trying to get you to do. For a lot of Western women and men, it's just not women, guys, feel that when these older men come over here and they take on the younger wives and girlfriends, whether the relationships work or not, it's just hard for people to process and even for Filipinos, they have that same feeling when they see the Westerner or know about the relationships. But it's been accepted here for a long time and there's nothing wrong with them. But in the US, you'll just rarely see it. And like she said, she wishes him the best on that. And that's just who she is. And it's just something that even me, I was taken back by, because I didn't realize how many of them actually came here and that are actually dating women at least half their age or even more. So I'm seeing these 20, 30, and 40-year age gaps with these relationships. Part of them are having kids. I'd probably say half of them have kids with them. And so if they're happy, then there's nothing wrong with that. But it's just something that you're trying to get used to, because it's, when guys or women actually come here, it's just it's and now I was telling George, do you think, besides a lot of the servicemen came here, there was a lot of pen pals back in the 60s, 50s. I mean, this isn't original, but since the internet, and then you move to the pandemic, you had all the military guys here, then you move on to the pandemic, people really doubled down and did a lot of online dating and relationships and everything else. The guys start sending a lot of money. They start watching these Filipinas and Philippine guys that actually put out these simping channels and stuff, and that have attracted the women in. And then you have just where they all start coming over and stuff. Some didn't have any, like plans for a specific woman. They just come over here and start looking. So it's kind of oh, he made it upstairs. The puppy's upstairs playing. Who's he chasing? Probably one of the cats.
Probably.
Yeah. So what's your feeling on that? The increase on guys here,
Well, it's always been exponential. I mean, monkey see, monkey do. Friends. It's kind of like this. One expat arrives in the Philippines, brags about the women he's got, and then to his friends, and those friends, couple of them move over here, and then those two friends brag about the women they've got, and then brag amongst themselves. Now you have, and so on and so forth. It's exponential. Also, unfortunately, because of this growth in, I guess, expat communities, there comes the downfalls. Meaning, unfortunately, it's kind of like a crime. Crime is an opportunistic creature, and what I mean by that is, since there's more expats here now, so is the increase in scamming expats, and that's what I mean. So it's kind of like a catch-22 on both parties. And same thing with, like I said, it's not, again, I'm not talking about um who gets taken advantage of to. I'm not saying that Filipinos get taken advantage. I'm not saying the expats get taken advantage. It's a question of whoever's the nicer among the two, who will get taken advantage of. You know what I'm saying? Again, it has nothing to do with race or nationality or anything like that. Is if an expat comes here as a predator, then woe the Filipina. Now, if the Filipina is a predator, woe is the expat. I mean, it's kind
yeah,
of
it's
like
kind yeah, it's
it's an
kind of like
even
the nets are being casted from all sides, and I think it becomes more opportunistic
correct.
because of the lower incomes. Even professionals have lower incomes here. Doesn't mean, they fit into another class. It just means that
Well, not to mention, it's easy to believe something that in your head that's what. Okay, the thing is, it's kind of like, all right, when me and Heidi watch Philippine movies here, okay, they show these. I watch Heidi's watched some Philippine movies with me, and I tell you what, most of these houses are very Western, very very Western standard.
Mhm.
Okay, now do these houses exist? Yes, but they're not the norm.
Yeah, probably 2 out of
Correct.
10 maybe.
Same thing with you guys. When you guys watch these shows, TV shows or movies, whatnot, most of these houses are really nicely set up. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And those are not the norm. What I'm saying is, when an expat comes over here and says, "Oh, hey, if you marry me, you know what? I live in this nice 3-bedroom house, yada yada yada." But in reality, they live in a double wide trailer, if that, or a single wide trailer. Point and
It has
um,
happened.
Yeah.
Well, there's like that guy that was on Mike's show, the one that came on there talking about as soon as he gets here, he can get any upper class woman just by his words and this and that. But here's the thing, I don't whether it's any Filipina here, I think they have an ideal in their head, regardless of how rich or how poor they are, of what a Western expat is. So half that is already implanted in their mind. It already speaks for half, of what they're actually thinking. And then you have the ones that are honest about their situations, and the other ones that kind of tuck it away, like the credit card guys, and the others that are the trailer guys, or the guys that, you know, it's there's all kinds of types of dating here. But what I'm saying is the Filipinos already have made up in their mind, like you said, what a Western person is. That'd be even the same with me, what they're actually thinking. It's already made up in their mind. Like when the P goes and talks about Western women all the time. If she sees me in the mall, or, she's just going to have in her mind what she thinks of a Western woman. That, oh, she's not taking care of George. She doesn't help with the laundry. She doesn't cook. She doesn't, just the way it is. It's just the way it is. Mike Ross, what do you think large age gaps are accepted here in the Philippines? For the most part, it is.
No, for the most part it is. And like I
Yeah, the
said,
families don't even hesitate. In the US, they, or other parts of the world, they would, you know, it would be, but I think it's because people are super nice here
and
too. I think they don't mind that their daughter's being possibly taken care of financially, or
and like I said, it has nothing to do with expats either. A lot of Filipinos have age gap relationships, and I already told you why. It's more of a maturity issue. Like there's that very old saying. It's not okay. Some are, some aren't. They always say Filipinos cheat and Filipinos drink. I'm talking about the guys. All Filipinos drink and all Filipinos cheat. That's what they say. Now, again, this actually it's a more of an immaturity thing, and a lot of women here in the Philippines are aware of this, and therefore the ones who've been burnt before, they usually tend to move upwards in terms of age. No, I know. Yeah.
well, I'm just saying we got to get you back to, we got to get rest. So.
That's my point. She couldn't leave the job and leave her parents and fed as well. Steve Manda. I see what you mean. Smurf Crushers saying that, remember what we said is, if you ask your Filipino or Filipina to quit their jobs and they're supporting their family, that's up to you to basically support her family too as well.
Yeah, if he asked her to not work, and is that what I mean? Was she actually working and he asked her to quit? I don't know the full story.
Correct.
Okay, well then that would be why he would give her financial then, yes. And if he decided to give the family money on the side, that would be up to him. And here's another thing. If they're truly in love and they really are happy together and everything, then him manning up, I don't have a problem with all of that. So the age gap, I don't have a problem with if he's manning up. But the biggest problem I would have personally is if any of those stories are true out there, and he is telling her that. And it was also said allegedly that he's doing it only to get relationships with her. That's the story that's been out there for a while. That I would disagree with. But if he's marrying her and everything, and he gave the family money and he's helping taking care of her, it doesn't look like that's all it's for. Or he would just go out and go down to Walking Street or other places, and I hate to say it, there is 100 other girls out there that would be waiting in line. Doesn't matter what they look like, as long as they got some sort of income coming in, and she can be replaced. But he evidently cares enough. He's been sticking around, correct?
Right.
Oh, sorry, I shouldn't ask you, correct? It's up to you to answer on that, but that's if. Yeah, that just came in.
Mike says less than 1% of relationships in the Philippines are age gaps above 25 years of age.
1%.
So not accepted. 87 relationship or age gap of less than 5 years.
Huh. Seems like more than 1%, though. 1% of the country?
Well, personally,
I mean, there was just 200-300 guys that were at what's it called?
yeah, I'm talking about my experience personally. I'm not talking about the internet or anything, Mike. I'm just saying personally, I know more than the 1% mark. I would say probably
I'd say 10, maybe.
I'd say 10%. Yeah, something like that. That's more on my
Because
personal experience.
there's even Filipinas where there's that much of an age gap. There's large age gap relationships with younger Filipinas, and
Well,
especially if you get into the Mindanao area and other places where the Muslims, they tend to marry younger wives like they
like
do
in
the
the
Middle
previous
East.
street where we lived, 3 people alone in that street were a huge age gap. I'm just saying, and that's just one short
And
street.
that's Filipina.
Filipinos.
Filipinos.
The
okay.
male is Filipino and older.
Yeah, I would have
and
to
then,
say that it's more normal here
No,
than
no,
just
I
a
got you.
1%.
Right, and that's just one little street. That I'm personally aware of right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he's pulling that on statistics or something, but yeah, it might be what people will accept will be that 5-year difference, but there are the age gap guys here for sure, but it's probably more around a 20.
Actually, same thing from experience. How long is that? It's not 20 years. It is less than 20 years, but it's over 15 years, but under 20 years.
I might even put it at a 5% versus 10, but I don't think it's just. But if you think about.
Neil says, my former boss, his wife is 10 years younger, and she comes from a very wealthy Filipino family, though they met at a later part in both their lives. Old man Willie says that old fart is living the dream. Living the dream, his dream. There you go. Mike says it's from PSA. Those numbers are based on the whole Philippines, of course. Angels Dumaguete will have more. Okay, that also makes sense. Meaning the more. Well, I don't know. I don't know if the expats have anything to do with it. No. I'm not talking about what your statement is, Mike. I'm talking about. I guess it's more metropolitanized. I guess. Fortunate, dude. Who even believes his statistics? Who records them, verifies them, and how are they generated? I trust person with real world experience before I trust something I looked up on the internet.
Yeah, I mean, I'm letting you know what I see almost on a daily basis, and then the Filipinos too. There are older guys here, Filipinos, that have the younger wives, 10, 20-year, 30-year differences. So it just doesn't happen with and then there was a poll last year that said it was released on the eve of, and I'm going to mention it was Valentine's Day. 50% of the people said they believe in age gap relationships matter and that it's okay. 41% said that it's not. So which wonder what happened to the other 9%. Probably just didn't care.
Right.
But I'm trying to. Let's see. Did not matter. It matters. 40% says it does not matter. Those who were aged 25 to 34 said it did not matter. It seemed to be people that were older as the ones that cared about it. 45 to 54 said that it mattered. So the older generation.
The conservative atheist. History tells us the average woman looks for a family and security, while men look for youth and beauty. Nothing new, nothing unique.
It says here, being with someone younger or older. In here, it said women, except among those age 55 and above, are more willing than their male counterpart to have a relationship with someone that was older. They did a poll. Among women, the willingness to have a relationship with someone 10 years and older was highest among women that were 35 to 44, with 60% saying they are willing and 21% are not willing. So it actually just depends on the age of the people. Yeah, I'm trying to find. What are you thinking about something?
No. I'm just trying
There's a whole
to.
survey here on what is the average. Oh, that's the average age. I thought they said the average. I was gonna say that's not right either. So that's what I mean. A lot of these statistics I'm looking at cannot be, and understand a lot of that are coming from the PSA. I don't know what year it shows, but some of them are from 2019, 2018. A lot of them don't even update for a few years. Even the crime rates and stuff don't update for like 5 years on some of the, yeah. So, yeah.
Well, as Old Man Willie says, it's love
Oh,
age
okay.
is just a number. I think that's BS. No, for the most part, again, as long as both parties agree and as long as there's no real usage, meaning nobody's taking advantage of one or the other, there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah,
Again,
there it is. It is 2019.
now
but
there
that
is
was
something
recent.
wrong with it, like for instance, again, somebody lying about their virility. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or or lying about their wealth, and all that kind of stuff. Then yeah, there's something wrong with it. But for the most part, no. Age gap shouldn't be, really anybody's concern, really.
And nobody's going to say anything in public. That
No,
is
nobody
for
says anything
sure.
in public.
And I don't even think the families do. I think when it happens, a lot of them know that it's financial, and a lot of them know certain things. Kind of like in the US, it's kind of like almost the unspoken. It's almost like the unspoken situation or something. They just know they're together for certain reasons, and they don't want to make people feel uncomfortable. They're going to stare like all get out. I promise you that. But yeah. So, all right, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. We do appreciate everybody being in there, in here, and on the show today. Thank you to all of our members that are in here. If you haven't subscribed, be sure to subscribe. Do a like
Thank you so
or a
much, Ted.
dislike.
Thanks so much, Tim Husk.
Old Man Willie, yeah,
Yes,
we're
Old Man Willie.
gonna get more
Hector Gubat,
rest.
thank you
Mike's
so
Philippine
much.
Journey, be sure to check him out and
Yes.
go look at
Thanks,
the full
Mike.
video.
Appreciate you, man.
Thank you for Andy Omar being in here. Tim Husk was in here. I don't know if I mentioned Tim. Bruce Davis was in the house. Yeah, we're just under the weather today, guys. I'm even sneezing on top of that. Kind of going through and seeing our members in here.
No.
Philippines and Beyond was in here.
Yeah, Old Man Willie, I disagree with you. I mean, what young girl wants a stinky old man? Of course it's fine. No. I mean, take for instance Anna Nicole Smith.
I'm gonna ride that drive all day long. You go, dun, dun, dun. Mhm. My pony, you jump on it. How you doing, Daddy?
Yeah. What was that?
What's that?
Did you see it blacked out? Yeah.
Oh, did it? Okay.
Thank you guys. I appreciate you so much.
Right.
Yeah. Anna Nicole Smith.
Next time.
That's legit, yo. Legit.
Guys, by the
Too
way,
leg-
she's
How
not.
is it? Too legit.
Hey,
Too legit.
you gonna quit? And she's living here.
It was true love.
Anna, Nicole, and Elvis are still alive and well here in the Philippines. You heard it first. What you talking about, Willis? What you laughing about? You know that could be true. They said she passed away out there in the tropics.
Right. She just decided to.
Islands in the stream. That is what we are. It's a joke, guys. Anyways, thank you guys for joining us. Bye, guys. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.